It's game number 20 of the Blues season, and it comes your way from Sinsheimer Stadium as San Luis Obispo welcomes in the Humboldt Crabs for a Sunday rubber match. The Blues and Crabs split the first two games of this series, one close and one not so much. Humboldt took a narrow game one, 6-5. The Blues pulled within a run in the 8th inning on a Justin Trimble homer, but stranded the tying run on base to lose in the 9th. After a testy end of that game, the Blues came out with a chip on their shoulder yesterday. SLO tossed its third shutout of the season, allowing just 2 hits through the first 8 innings before dancing around traffic in the 9th. 3 hits and a home run from Darius Price propelled the Blues to a 5-0 victory. Now it's the second rubber match of the summer in San Luis Obispo, and the Blues are sending SLO high school product Alec Narin to the mound. The Crabs counter with CSU San Marcos lefty Nolan Long. Is a series victory in the cards for the Blues, or will Humboldt crab walk their way home winners? Find out next as we ready for first pitch on the SLO Blues streaming network. I'm Jack Smith alongside you. As always, Nate Mills will join me in the 4th, but until then, it is an epic game today. Humboldt and SLO, two of the biggest programs, collegiate programs in the country, been around for over 70 years, and they're squaring off today here in a rubber match at Sinsheimer Stadium. Great crowd on hand, great baseball that's been played the last couple days, and for the Blues, who have broken now their season-long losing streak of 3 games yesterday, a chance for a series win today in a rubber match. It's Alec Narin versus Nolan Long, and it's coming up right here on the SLO Blues streaming network. We'll take a quick step away, then it's first pitch and national anthem. As the Blues take the field, we'll take a quick step away. You'll listen to the national anthem, and first pitch coming up on the SLO Blues streaming network.
Number 14, Jacob LaPrairie. And the 9th batter in the lineup, number 40, Blake Wilson. Starting pitcher for the San Luis Obispo Blues today, wearing number 7, Alec Narin. Blues are led by Dean Trainer. He is assisted by Steve Tolley, Brian Trainer, Rene Regalado, and Max Lober. Ladies and gentlemen, we would ask now that you would kindly stand and remove your hats for the national anthem as delivered to us today by Kitty Vickers. Kitty?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
The Blues thank Kitty Vickers for a wonderful rendition of the national anthem, and we're ready for first pitch here on the SLO Blues streaming network. Let's introduce the starting lineup for the Humboldt Crabs in Game 3 of this series. It's Cubby Cortez getting his second start at catcher. He bats leadoff from Sacramento State. Wyatt Reginato back in the lineup. The right fielder from Folsom Lake College hits second. Colby Lunsford, the second baseman from Consumus River, bats third. Billy Ham from Nevada, a .458 average, 13 runs batted in to lead the team. He hits cleanup. Griffin Myers right behind him, making his third start of the series, DHing today after catching and playing first. From Washington State, he hits fifth. Luke Reese, the shortstop from CSU San Marcos, is in the sixth spot. Andrew Crane, the center fielder from Chico State, hits seventh. Braden Frank, the third baseman from Sacramento State, another Hornet in this lineup, is in the eighth spot. And Peyton Miller, the left fielder from the University of the Pacific, hits ninth. On the mound for your San Luis Obispo Blues, it's Alec Narin, the right-hander, SLO native, just graduated San Luis Obispo High School and making another appearance for the Blues. So far this season, he's got a 4.66 earned run average and 9 2/3 innings pitched, 8 strikeouts, 5 walks, for the 6 foot 285-pound right-hander. So Narin warms up. This past year at San Luis Obispo High School, he had a 2.44 ERA and 57 1/3 innings pitched, led SLO High School in innings pitched and strikeouts. And this being a non-league game, the high school product can come back and start the game for the Blues. Here's the defense that will join him for San Luis Obispo. In the outfield from left to right, it's LaPrairie, Adams, and Schroeder. Acosta and Hicksonbaum, 2 more high schoolers on the left side of the infield. Blake Wilson makes his first start for the Blues, plays second. Matt Massiangelo is at first. Jacob Galloway, the USC Trojan, is behind the plate. And DHing today, Darius Price, after his 3-hit game, including his first home run as a Blue. So Narin continues to work his warm-up. Fans are filing in here on Mimosa Sunday. An early first pitch today. Beautiful day in San Luis Obispo. As you can see, not a single cloud in the sky. Just blue nothingness up above, and it is gorgeous here in SLO. Narin grabs the ball back from his defense, and up steps Cubby Cortez, the catcher from Sacramento State, ready to get this game started here on the SLO Blues streaming network. As Narin steps on the mound, Cubby Cortez steps in. It's Cortez, Reginato, Lunsford due up here in the first. Narin from the stretch. His first offering. And Cortez takes inside. First pitch just a couple seconds late. 2:06 p.m. Temperatures in the high 60s. 1-0. That's upstairs as well. 2 balls and no strikes. Cortez comes into today a .286 average with 3 runs batted in. Didn't play yesterday after getting the start in Game 1 of this 3-game series. He DH'd and hit 9th. Now on the leadoff spot, he's hit to start the game. So Cortez takes first. It's the first base runner for the Crabs, and just like that, a runner on. It took the Crabs a while to get their first base runner yesterday, as Ryan Baum faced the minimum through 4 innings, gave up a single to the 8th hitter, Kavanasaurus, yesterday. But here, a base runner, the first batter of the game, and Wyatt Reginato swinging that neon pink and black bat, steps in with a runner on. Cortez getting a little bit of a walk down first to test out that back. Now he takes the first base bag. Narin lost a little bit of command there. He's still looking to throw his first strike of the day. Reginato, a .447 average this summer, 6 doubles, no home runs, 12 runs batted in. 0-0 from Narin is in there. Strike 1 call on the outside corner. So Narin right back on the hill. San Luis Obispo native, went to SLO High School, will be a freshman this year, trying to walk on at Pepperdine. His 0-1. And Reginato takes strike 2 called. Same spot, same result. As Alec Narin's ahead in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. The last time Blues fans saw Naren was in the rubber match against the Mudcats, where he took over for Omar Reynoso, who got hit around a little bit, and then threw 3 1/3 innings of scoreless baseball out of the pen. Pick to first is not in time. Cortez back in. Naren gave up 3 hits, struck out 1 across those 3 1/3. That's the only other rubber match the Blues have played this season, and they beat Solano 19-6 in a Sunday beatdown. 0-2. Reginato takes a little outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Reginato from Folsom Lake College. Had the day off yesterday. Back in the lineup today for Robin Guyver in this Crabs squad. 1-2. Runner on the move. Pitches outside. Here's Galloway's throw. It is in time. They got him. Cortez gunned down by his fellow catcher. And just like that, there's one away. Pitch was outside, so the count moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes, but Jacob Galloway throws out his first runner of the summer. A little catcher-on-catcher crime. So now Naren, 1 more strike, could get to 2 outs in this inning already. He kicks and deals, and Reginato cues it foul right at Colby Lunsford, who stands on deck. Galloway has a great arm, threw out a handful of runners at USC this past year. Watching him this past season, felt like he threw out more than he allowed to steal, which, if you're a catcher, just about as much as you can ask for on the base paths. 2-2. And Reginato hits the curveball up the middle. That's a base hit. So it's a good thing that Galloway was able to throw out Cortez. He might have scored there as Reginato comes up with a base hit. And just like that, a runner back on. So the hit by pitch and a hit. How this game starts. Naren has allowed the first 2 runners to reach, but he's got to thank Jacob Galloway for gunning down Cortez. Here's Colby Lunsford hitting .364 with 2 home runs, 8 runs batted in. Runner at first, nobody out. Scratch that, 1 out. Pitch to Lunsford. That's the big curveball, and it's in there, strike 1. Lunsford plays for Consumnes River after transferring from Sacramento State. This past season, had 53 hits and 159 at-bats. Reginato with a sizable leadoff first. Naren deals. It's a fastball. It's cued into shallow right center. That's going to drop for a base hit. Chasing it into the gap is Augusto Schroeder. He comes up with it, throws into second. Right at Blake Wilson. Runners at the corners with 1 away for Humboldt. And now they're the team coming out with a vengeance in the first. It took the Crabs 8 hitters to get their first base runner yesterday, and they've got 3 base runners in the first 3 hitters here in the rubber match. 2 straight singles, and now it's Reginato at third, Lunsford at first, and the batter Billy Ham, who's been maybe the best run producer in this lineup. A .458 average for the first baseman, a home run, 13 runs batted in, tied for the team lead. Naren with the delivery, and Ham swings and misses. No balls and 1 strike. Billy Ham from Nevada hit .143 this past year for the Wolfpack. 4 hits, 28 at-bats. 2 of them extra bases, though, a double and a triple. A 1 is outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Ham's really turned things on, though, for the Crabs this season. Seeing that A lineup once again from Humboldt. 4 hitters batting above 400. 2 more batting above 300 for the Crabs. 1-1. Runner on the move. It's the curveball. Galloway throws all the way down. It's not in time. Right at Acosta, but a little off the bag. 2 balls, 1 strike, and the runner gets the base. Now 2 runners in scoring position. As that pitch was called a strike, Lunsford gets credit for the stolen base. Now the double play is out of order for Ham, who doesn't run particularly well, and a hit for the run producer could knock in 2 more. Middle infield still plays back. The pitch is a curveball outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. On deck is Griffin Myers, the designated hitter from Washington State. Just as capable a run producer on deck, as Myers also tied for the team lead in runs batted in. 2-2. On the outside corner, strike 2. The scoreboard was wrong here at Sinsheimer. That was a 3-1 pitch, and Naren spotted it up. The scoreboard had read 2 balls, 2 strikes, so now a full count. What does Naren go to 3-2? He's got a base to play with. The pitch is wrapped on the ground towards second. It comes up on Wilson. He goes to first. That's the second out, but a run comes in to score for Humboldt. It's 1-0 Crabs with the second out here in the first. So that's Ham's 14th run batted in. He now has sole possession of the team lead with the fielder's choice from Wilson. In comes Reginato, and just like that, the Crabs in front first here at Sinsheimer Stadium. So here's Myers. .467 average, 2 homers, 13 runs batted in, with Lunsford now to third. Naren delivers. That's in the dirt. 1 ball and no strikes. So it's a non-league game. The Blues are utilizing new players all around, high school players all around, including on the hill with Alec Naren, and he gives up a run here in the first. Humboldt, who didn't score a run at all yesterday, has one here in the first inning today. That's low and out. 2 balls and no strikes. It was a 6-5 Crabs win in the first game of this series. Blues really rallied back after the testy end to game 1 and won 5-0 yesterday night. 2-0. Myers takes, strike 1 called on the outside corner. Myers, 6'4", 215-pound left-handed hitting catcher. DHing today with Cortez behind the plate. Naren comes home, and Myers takes outside. Myers, first team All-East Bay Athletic League at Amador Valley High School. Hit .429 as a senior, but hasn't seen much time in his first 2 years at Washington State. Just 3 plate appearances, 0 for 1 with 2 walks. As he swings here, taps it back into the glove of Galloway. Count moves full. Big pitch for Naren. He can get out of the inning, limit the damage to only 1 run. The first 3 hitters all reached before the fielder's choice by Ham. Galloway also threw out a runner this frame. 3-2 is outside. It's a 2-out walk for Griffin Myers. Runners at the corners with 2 outs. So Luke Reese will come up, 6th batter to come to the plate here in the first. Reese also hitting above .400, .424 average, 10 runs batted in for the Crabs. The shortstop from CSU San Marcos. One of a couple players that has played now in every game of this series. Reese played shortstop in the first game, second yesterday, back to short today. He takes the first pitch up high, 1 ball and no strikes. Blues snapped their 3-game losing streak yesterday. It was the longest of the year, but not off to the hottest start here in Game 3, a rubber match against the Crabs. 1-0. Reese hammers a line drive down the left field line. It falls for a base hit. In comes Lunsford to score. To second goes Myers. Luke Reese, an RBI base hit. It's 2-0 Humboldt. So the inning develops even further after the 2-out walk. Luke Reese comes up with the RBI knock. And the Crabs, after scoring not a single time in yesterday's game, have 2 in the first. The series has gone back and forth. The Blues, not happy with how Game 1 went for a myriad of reasons, came out really energetic yesterday. And Dean Traynor was thrown out before the lineup card exchange. That's how fired up the Blues were. And they ended up shutting out the Crabs. Here they are trailing 2-0 in the first. As the batter Andrew Crane ahead in the count, 1 ball and no strikes. Naren comes set and glove held at the belt. 1-0. Crane pops it up. Left side of the infield. J.P. Acosta chases it into foul territory down the left field line, and he squares up and makes the catch. 2 runs in the first for the Crabs, 2 more than all of yesterday. As we head to the bottom of the first, it's 2-0 Humboldt on the SLO Blues streaming network. bottom one, and the Blues already trail it by 2. Here's the lineup that Dean Traynor is sending out. A lot of new names and a lot of fresh faces. It's JP Acosta, the shortstop from Long Beach State, who's leading things off. Jake Hicksonbaugh plays third, back in the lineup in this non-league game because the Blues can play high schoolers once again. Heading to Monterey Peninsula College, Hicksonbaugh bats second. Matt Mastiangelo, the first baseman for the Roadrunners of CSU Bakersfield, hits third. TJ Adams plays center and hits cleanup. Jacob Galloway, the USC catcher, is in the 5th spot. Darius Price, after his big game yesterday, DHs from Cal Poly Pomona and hits 6th. It's Augusto Schroeder in right and in the 7th spot. Jacob Laprairie, the left fielder from Tulane, hits 8th, and making his Blues debut, Blake Wilson in the 9th spot, the second baseman headed to Washington. On the mound for the Humboldt Crabs, it's Nolan Long, the 6-foot, 200-pound left-hander from CSU San Marcos. As Acosta steps in, the pitch from Long is swing and a miss at the bottom of the zone. No balls and 1 strike. Long has a 2.84 earned run average in 12.2 innings pitched so far this season. 18 strikeouts. As Acosta takes it low, 1 ball and 1 strike. Long's a guy that's worked around some traffic, a whip at 1.42. But he's struck out a lot, led CSU San Marcos in strikeouts as well. As the lefty misses outside, 2 balls and 1 strike on JP Acosta. Acosta has taken some nice at-bats for the Blues. Hasn't seen a ton of action, hitting .250 with a double and no runs batted in so far this summer. Long from the windup, and Acosta takes it right on the inside corner. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Acosta, Hicksonbaugh, Mastiangelo, due up for the Blues. Acosta, the switch-hitting shortstop, batting right-handed, takes the 2-2 curveball outside. 3 balls and 2 strikes. So Long fiddles in his glove. What's he going to? 3-2. The pitch to Acosta is inside, but on the corner. Called strike 3 as Acosta spins around. That's the first strikeout for Long, the first out here in the first. So the Blues don't appreciate the call. Here's how the Crabs line things up defensively. It's Miller, Crane, and Reginato in the outfield from left to right. Right side of the infield is Lunsford and Ham. Left side, Reese and Frank. And Myers DHs as Cortez is in the squad. So the batter now, Jake Hicksonbaugh, the lefty against the left-handed starter. As Hicksonbaugh, the temporary Blue, takes outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Hicksonbaugh, playing in non-conference play, has really had some nice bat-to-ball skills for the Blues, hitting .500 as he swings here and taps it foul. .500 average, 3 runs batted in for the third baseman, heading to Monterey Peninsula College. Normally a middle infielder, but playing third today for the Blues. 1-1, he laces it the other way. It's another base hit for the kid. Hicksonbaugh rounds first, and he's aboard with a 1-out single. It's the first hit for the Blues, and they've got a runner aboard. The throw gets away, and now Hicksonbaugh heading to second. I put my head down for 1 second, and Hicksonbaugh takes the free 90. Just a defensive miscue for the Crabs. As Hicksonbaugh read it perfectly, the throw got past Reese, the shortstop, and the third baseman took the extra base. He puts himself in scoring position. I don't know what happened. Well, the Blues will take it. Hicksonbaugh's aboard in scoring position. The batter will be Matt Mastiangelo. So late in the play. I go to write my scorebook, and I look up with the crowd cheering, and Hicksonbaugh's on his way to second base. So the single and the error. Runner in scoring position for Matt Mastiangelo, the first baseman from CSU Bakersfield. Long comes home, and Mastiangelo chops it to second. Short hit. It comes up a little bit on Lunsford, but he's got plenty of time to throw out Mastiangelo at first. 2 outs. Mastiangelo to third, and with 2 outs, the batter will be TJ Adams. Still just a weird play that allowed Hicksonbaugh to reach third. And now TJ Adams comes up, tied for the team lead in runs batted in with 9. Chance to add another and get the Blues on the board here in the first. 1 ball and no strikes. Adams hitting .289 on the summer, 9 runs batted in. 1-0. Adams, a big swing and miss. 1 ball and 1 strike. Adams has struck out a decent amount so far this summer. Takes some big swings, sometimes won't make contact. But he's been a solid hitter for the Blues as he takes inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. On the summer for Adams, 6 strikeouts. He has walked, though, 16 times. 2-1. Here he takes on the inside corner. That seems to be the spot for Nolan Long. that arm side movement that bends back into the zone on that inside corner. He's getting the calls. 2-2. Adams takes the curveball low. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Hickson-Boz at third. He singled, advanced on an error, and then moved up on the fielder's choice, ground out by Massiangelo. On deck is Jacob Galloway. First, the payoff to Adams. And Adams takes a little bit low. Close pitch to take with 2 strikes. But Adams, with his 17th walk of the summer, is aboard. Runners at the corners and 2 outs. So 2 base runners here in the first as the Blues trying to answer back after the Crabs scored 2 in their half of the frame. Jacob Galloway up his first home game. The catcher from USC went 0 for 3 in his debut in Pasadena. Walked once and had a run batted in. Wearing number 37, the left-handed hitting catcher steps in. Chance to drive in a run, get the Blues on the board. 0-0. Adams takes off for second, and Galloway chops it foul. No balls and 1 strike. Adams steals bases. That's kind of what he does, at least recently. Had a couple yesterday. He's up to 7 now on the summer. He had 2 on back-to-back pitches in yesterday's game. Oh, 0-1 the count. Long. Kicks and deals. And the pitch through the catcher's legs. Cortez can't find it, so Adams takes second. And now you got 2 runners in scoring position for the Blues. Similar chance to what the Crabs had in the first. A single here from Galloway with Adams' speed at second could tie this game up. The ball didn't squirt far enough away for Hickson-Boz to come in to score. But Galloway trying to come through with a base hit. The pitch. And Galloway takes a little bit high with a changeup. 2 balls and 1 strike. Galloway had a great freshman year at USC. .365 average across 24 games played. Slug in the 500s. Had 5 doubles and a home run. Long comes home. And Galloway takes a little bit outside again. 3 balls and 1 strike. Galloway played in 20 of USC's last 23 games after an injury to senior catcher Connor Aoki. Completely ran with the starting gig and caught for USC all the way through the Pac-12 tournament. Trying to knock in 2, the 3-1. Galloway hits a little pop-up to center, and it's going to carry all the way to Crane. Wind still blowing back here at Sinsheimer, and it carries that one to the Chico State center fielder for the 3rd out. So the Crabs get out of it. As we head to the second, it's 2-0 Humboldt. Welcome you back to Sinsheimer Stadium on the SLO Blues streaming network. It's 2-0 Crabs after 1, and they come back out against Alec Narin. It'll be 8-9-1 in the Crabs order. Braden Frank, Peyton Miller, Cubby Cortez. First is the left-handed hitting third baseman from Sacramento State, Braden Frank, making his first appearance in this series. .333 average and 6 runs batted in. Narin let the first 3 runners reach back in the first. Gave up another walk and a hit. He misses here high to Frank. 5 base runners in the first for Humboldt. It took them 8 hitters yesterday to have their first, and they didn't score a single run. Here they are up 2-0 in the top of the second. Narin comes home, and Frank laces it straight back. 1 ball and 1 strike. Braden Frank, 6 foot, 200-pound sophomore at Sacramento State. got 13 at-bats this year for the Hornets, had just the one hit. 1-1. Frank beats it off the plate right towards Alec Narin. He collects it and throws low in time for the out. So with one away, it'll be the 9-hole hitter Peyton Miller as the Crabs lead it by 2. Second to last non-league game of the year for the Blues. So one of the last chances for Blues fans to see some of the names out there right now. Narin, Jake Hicksenbaugh, who's playing third today. Some of these guys that are temporary players for the Blues but have chances to play in non-league games, just can't be carried through the CCL season, which is why the Blues are trying to use Narin as he gives up a line drive to center. Miller's got himself a one-out base hit. For the Blues, though, the philosophy is the CCL season can get so taxing that when you have these non-league games, try and rest some of the pitchers' arms. They got the debut from Baum yesterday, who will be a permanent player, but wanted to get him in the game. But now the chance, you've got 5 games next week, a chance to ride some of these arms that you won't get to use for the rest of the summer. And that's the philosophy for throwing Narin out there to start this rubber match. He deals outside to Cubby Cortez, 1 ball and no strikes. So back to the top of the order. Cortez, the catcher from Sacramento State, was hit by a pitch in the first inning, tried to steal second, and was thrown out by Jacob Galloway. 1-0. Cortez takes way high, 2 balls and no strikes. Cortez, 6 foot, 180-pound catcher / middle infielder, as listed by the Crabs, from Antioch, California. Narin deals, and Cortez takes strike 1 on the outside corner. Right there, 2 balls and 1 strike. Cortez hit .265 for Sacramento State this past year. 30 hits and 113 at-bats, also added 15 runs batted in. As Narin picks to first, it's not in time to get Peyton Miller. Long hold, the 2-1 to Cortez. And Cortez takes it in the same spot. 2 balls and 2 strikes with the fastball. Cortez did strike out 26 times, only walked 9 times in his freshman year at the D1 level. Narin collects himself and has his sign, and another pick to first is still not in time to get Peyton Miller. Big lead in a close play, but Miller's back in with a dive. Cortez graduated from Clayton Valley High School, where he was the team captain for the Ugly Eagles. While he was there during his senior season, won the Diablo Foothill League title. Two. Curveball called, strike 3 on the outside corner. Narin gets his second, that's his first strikeout. And Cortez down on the big hook. So that's the big pitch from Narin. Now with 2 outs, the batter will be Wyatt Reginato. But good on Narin to be able to find the zone late in that count with 2 strikes. A pitch that wasn't enticing to Cortez, but it scratched that outside part of the zone. Reginato singled and scored in the first. Another pick goes to first, and Miller is again back in. Wyatt Reginato from Folsom Lake College has hit over 300 in both of his seasons with the Falcons. This past year, .369 batting average with 17 doubles, 3 runs batted in, as he takes a little bit high, 1 ball and no strikes. 6'1", 215-pound utility hitter, as listed by the Crabs. 1-0. Reginato lines it into right. Schroeder lets it fall in for a base hit. Heading to third is Peyton Miller. He stops, though, right around the second base bag as he bluffed towards third. The throw goes to Acosta, first and second with 2 outs. Reginato's got his second hit in as many innings. So now a little bit more trouble with 2 outs for Narin in the second. Gave up 2 in the first. 2 base runners on here with 2 outs. The batter will be Colby Lunsford, who singled, stole a base, and scored the second run back in the first inning. A lot of traffic through 2 frames against Alec Narin. He's still trying to finish that second inning. That pitch is on the black on the outside corner. No balls and 1 strike. Narin's confident in the curveball, but the fastball is being hit around a little bit more. And the Blues have someone stretching out in the bullpen. Looks like it might be the tall right-hander Hunter Hammond. As Colby Lunsford takes it low, 1 ball and 1 strike. And we were told that the Blues are going to use the high school arms today. We kind of expected it for all 3 games in this series, but the Blues have used more of the permanent players, at least more than we thought they were going to. But today, maybe a day they're airing out all the temporary guys. Lunsford takes outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Lunsford, 5'11", 185-pounder from Grass Valley, California. Went to Bear River High School. He'll be a junior this next season at Consumnes River. 2-1 on the way. Big pop up into shallow right. Who's it going to be? Schroeder comes in, the right fielder. He calls off Wilson and makes the catch himself for the final out. So no runs for the Crabs. They do threaten more against Naren, but as we head to the bottom of the second, it's 2-0 Humboldt on the SLO Blues streaming network. Half of the second. The Blues are coming back up here on the SLO Blues streaming network. It's yesterday night's hero, Darius Price, to lead things off. The DH from Cal Poly Pomona. He'll be followed by Augusto Schroeder, the right fielder from Arkansas State, and Jacob LaPrairie, the left fielder from Tulane. Darius Price, a .385 hitter in his time so far for the Blues. Had his first 3-hit game yesterday. Also launched his first homer. He swings at the first pitch, hits it down the right field line. Hooking, falls just a little bit foul. Price had extra bases in his eyes, but now he has to return back home. Price launched that home run. It was on a line yesterday to left field, but it was carried out. Ended up being his first homer for the Blues. Also had 2 more hits, 2 singles. He ended up on the day being 3 for 4. Now the long walk back to grab his black bat. Wind is blowing out the same way today. You see it on the flag out in center field. Carry to left, and we'll see carry to center as well. If the Blues, or the Crabs for that matter, get something in the air to left, it could go a long way. Nolan Long's waiting for Price to get back in the box. There he is, and here's the 0-1. Price takes it outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Price tied for the Cal Poly Pomona Bronco team lead in home runs last year and showed off the power for the first time yesterday for the Blues. Dean Traynor wants to keep it going, putting Price in the DH spot as he flies it foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 243 average and nearly 40 games for Price at Cal Poly Pomona. 7 home runs, 22 runs batted in. Long from the windup, wide feet, he kicks and deals. And Price hammers it to center, carrying a little bit on Crane, but he now stops and makes the catch a little bit to his right. Price with a rocket off the bat, but nothing to show for it. That's the first out here in the second. That liner came off Darius Price's bat at 92 miles an hour, but no hit. It just gets credit for a line out. And now Augusto Schroeder comes up, hitting 182 so far this summer. Schroeder hits it, another liner foul down the right field line. So 0-1 the count. Blues trail the Crabs by 2 here in the second. Long from the windup. Misses way high with that 0-1 breaking ball. 1 ball and 1 strike on Augusto Schroeder. 5'11", 180-pound shortstop from Arkansas State. Hails from Edmond, Oklahoma. 1-1. Schroeder beats it up the middle. This could be a base hit. Tough play for Reese. He's behind the bag and throws out Schroeder. Schroeder, I thought, would contest that hard 90 a little bit more, but he was thrown out by a handful of steps. Nice defensive play by Reese. I don't know if Augusto Schroeder thought that was all the way into center, but it didn't look like that was his hustle to first, and he was gunned down by Reese behind the bag. So the batter now, Jacob LaPrairie from Tulane. Home debut for Jacob LaPrairie as he swings to the first pitch, grounds it off the diving first baseman Hammond into right center field. Jacob LaPrairie's got a hit in his first Sinsheimer at bat, and he's aboard with 2 outs. So the Blues are jumping on Nolan Long early in at-bats, and LaPrairie hit a hard grounder. Ham had to dive it first, and it just bounced off his black leather. And it bounced so far that it was even out of the range of Lunsford, the second baseman. And so we go from home debut to team debut. Here's Blake Wilson, the second baseman, heading to the University of Washington after graduating from Santa Margarita Catholic High School. Long delivers, and Wilson swings to the first pitch, fouls it straight back. Wilson, 5'10", 185-pound infielder from Trabuco Canyon, had a .963 OPS in his senior year at Santa Margarita and will play for the Huskies next year. LaPrairie gets his lead off first, the 0-1 on a slide step, and Wilson fights it foul. So Wilson makes his first appearance, and he has to do it in front of a huge Sunday crowd. It's a mimosa day, beautiful sunny day at Sinsheimer, and the 9-hole hitter's behind in the count 0-2. Pitch from Long, and it's up high, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Santa Margarita this past year won the Trinity League for the first time in 19 years, as Wilson helped lead them to a 29-7 overall record, 14-1 in league play. 1-2. Wilson pops it up into shallow right center field. Lunsford goes back to second baseman, and it's Reginato, the right fielder, who has to lunge in and make the catch. That's 3 outs here in the second. As we're through 2, it's 2-0 Humboldt on the SLO Blues streaming network. 4-5-6 to up in the Crabs order against Alec Nairn, starting with Billy Ham, the first baseman from Nevada, who grounded into a fielder's choice and picked up an RBI in the first. His team leading 14th run batted in as he's ahead in the count here in the third. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0. Ham swings and misses. 1 ball and 1 strike. So Nairn out for his third inning. Gave up 2 in the first. Worked around some traffic and stranded 2 runners on last inning. 1-1. Ham takes strike 2 call on the outside corner. Nice fastball on that out there half. Ham behind the count. 6-2, 2-10. Goes Billy Ham, the infielder, redshirt sophomore from Bishop Gorman High School. 1-2. Ham takes off the outside corner. Galloway wanted strike 3. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 2 pitches that could have gone either way. Nairn got 1 call, didn't get the second. Some would call it a makeup call, maybe. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch. Ham pops it up. Shallow center. JP Acosta calls for it. Big pink glove, and he nabs it in the webbing for the first out. So Nairn gets the out either way. Ham's retired, and here comes Griffin Myers, the DH from Washington State. Nairn's gotten a handful of pop-ups today. That's the 3rd pop-up out already of the 7 outs he's gotten. There's also been some that have fallen foul. Just the 1 strikeout so far from Nairn, pitching more to contact, and he's already given up 4 hits. As that pitch is outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Actually, he's given up 5 hits. The scoreboard here at Sinsheimer reads 4, but he's given up 5 singles. Those were all through the first 2 innings. As Myers cues it on the left side of the infield, Acosta slides, and it bounces off his glove and into left field. That's the 6th hit, as Acosta made a nice effort to try and reel it in, but no play for the shortstop from Long Beach. And Myers is aboard with 1 out. Little nubber that was just placed perfectly past the third baseman Hicksonbaugh and a little too deep for Acosta, the shortstop. He went into a slide to try and protect it, keep it in the infield, but he had no chance at getting Myers at first. So the 6th hit puts a runner aboard. Runner at first, 1 out. And the batter now is Luke Reese, the shortstop from CSU San Marcos. Reese takes the curveball in there. Strike 1 call. No balls and 1 strike. So Myers has reached base twice. A walk in the first, a single on the third. Here's Luke Reese, who hit a screaming liner to left to knock in a run back in the first inning. Huge curveball. That one didn't come down. 1 ball and 1 strike. Reese led CSU San Marcos in on-base percentage, OPS, doubles, and walks this past season as he takes a little bit outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Also reached base in a team-best 23 consecutive games at one point this season. He's been all CCAA second team in the last 2 years. 2-1. Reese takes upstairs, 3 balls and 1 strike. As a redshirt freshman just a couple years ago, he led the Cougars in batting average, hits, runs, and runs batted in. Running the gauntlet. Also led the team with 10 3-hit games. 3-1. Reese swings and taps it back into the glove of Galloway. Count moves full. Myers is at first. Crabs lead it by 2 here in the third. Nairn still a chance if he can get Reese to roll over to potentially get a double play ball and get out of this inning. Payoff. Reese does chop it to short. This could be 2. It goes low on Acosta. He boots it, and he's got no play. Weird hop off the lip, and it's the error on the shortstop Acosta. Runners at first and second with 1 out. From a would-be double play to a base runner. Tough hop, though, for Acosta. But you would have loved, if you're Nairn, to at least have gotten 1 out. Now Andrew Crane, the center fielder from Chico State, has a chance. Runners at first and second, 1 out for the Crabs, who already lead it by 2. After that error at shortstop by J.P. Acosta. 0-0. Crane takes strike 1 on the outside corner. Andrew Crane from Chico State played at 2 schools before playing at Chico, the College of San Mateo and Cal State Monterey Bay. San Marcos native. 0-1. Crane swings and misses at that big curveball. No balls and 2 strikes. So Crane behind in the count. He's detailed in the past at Chico his admiration for Kobe Bryant, who he said is his favorite athlete. But right now he's behind in the count 0-2. More on that in a bit. 0-2. Crane takes it a little bit low. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Crane's quoted as saying that Kobe's desire and passion to be a better person on the court through the Mamba mentality and just being tenacious is inspiring. He said this mindset translates into how he fathered his children and family, and to him, that transition from field to personal life was a big deal, as that is called strike 3, and no success on the throw to first by Galloway. Low fastball, but Nairn gets the call, and there's 2 outs in the inning. So that's the second strikeout for Alec Nairn, both of them looking, and Crane is down on strikes for the second out. Everything moves so quick that Galloway's throw kind of interrupted the strikeout call. Fastball could have been low, but Nairn gets the call as Braden Frank takes a curveball for a strike. No balls and 1 strike. So 0-1 the count on the third baseman from Sacramento State. Grounded out right back to Nairn in the first. And that's out of play. No balls and 2 strikes. Frank, 6 walks, 7 strikeouts across 8 games played at Sacramento State in his freshman season. Huge number of Sacramento State players on this Crabs lineup. Big pitch on the way. 0-2. Frank tops it foul. Just got a piece. Still no balls and 2 strikes. Frank was first team All-Sierra Foothill League twice for the Oak Ridge High School Trojans. A native of El Dorado Hills, California. 6 foot, 200-pound left-hand hitter is behind in the count, 0-2. 2 runners on. It's Myers at second, Reese at first. As Nairn kicks and deals. Swing and a miss on the outside corner. 2 strikeouts in the frame as Nairn doesn't give up a run. We head to the bottom of the third. It's still 2-0 on the SLO Blues streaming network. Top of the order for the Blues in the bottom of the third. It's Acosta, Hicksonbaugh, Massiangelo due up as Nolan Long, the lefty, is still out there. Acosta, the switch hitter, batting right-handed, struck out looking to start the game back in the bottom of the first. As Long deals, Acosta tops it foul off his own foot. No balls and 1 strike. JP Acosta, 6 foot, 185-pound freshman, heading to Long Beach State by way of Buchanan High School, where he was the Tri-River Athletic Conference Player of the Year back in 2023. So far for the Blues, hitting just over 200, has a double, no runs batted in. That pitch is outside. I know that for sure. 1 ball and 1 strike as Long gripped the laces a little wrong, and that was all the way to the backstop. Not a shadow of a doubt that Cortez was not going to touch that ball at all. 1-1. Acosta takes inside this time. Again, back to the backstop. 2 balls and 1 strike. We've seen some errant pitches at Sinsheimer this season. A lot of Blues walks. I'm not sure I've seen a wider pitch than that one. Two and 1 the count on Acosta. Blues trying to score for the first time here in the third. No outs. Acosta pops it up. shallow infield. In comes the entire infield. Who's it going to be? The pitcher Long calls for it, and no one called him off. He makes the catch himself, and Acosta's retired for the first out. The rule is you don't let the pitcher catch it, but the entire infield was there, and no one could make the call. So Long said, well, I'll catch it, and did it himself to get himself his first out. Here's Jake Hicksenbaugh, who singled, advanced on an error, and moved to third, where he was stranded in the first inning. Now hitting above 500 in the limited time he's played for the Blues. Lefty-lefty matchup as Long comes home. Hicksenbaugh takes a fastball in the outside corner, strike one called. So Acosta's 0 for 2. And Hicksenbaugh trying to reach. He swings at the first pitch, and it's into left field. Diving is the left fielder Miller, and Hicksenbaugh's got another hit. He's trying for second. The throw from the center fielder Crane's not in time, and Jake Hicksenbaugh's 2 for 2. This time it's a double. I've been so impressed with Jake Hicksenbaugh this season. Doesn't hit for the team very often, but when he comes in, he's always 2 for 3 or 3 for 4, and he's got himself another hit. Hit tools off the charts for the third baseman heading to Monterey Peninsula College. And so another runner in scoring position for the Blues. It's Hicksenbaugh again, and Massiangelo comes up, grounded out to second in this exact same spot last inning. Nolan Long, the lefty, looks back to second for Hicksenbaugh. Now kicks and deals. And Massiangelo takes. Strike one called on the inside corner. No balls and 1 strike. Massiangelo's now 1 for 7 for the Blues. He had a hit in his first at-bat in his debut against the Conejo Oaks. Knocked in a run. Since then he has 3 walks, but still looking for his second hit. Oh, 1 on the way. And Massiangelo takes. Strike 2 call. So quickly, no balls and 2 strikes on the first baseman from CSU Bakersfield. Paced the Roadrunners in batting average this past season. Just 20 at-bats, but 8 singles. Also knocked in 4 and walked 5 times. Hicksenbaugh with the 1-out lead off second. The pitch. Massiangelo strikes out swinging. The second strikeout for Nolan Long. And that's a big strikeout here as Massiangelo can't move over Hicksenbaugh or bring him in. And so now TJ Adams comes up, runner at second and 2 outs. So tough at bat for Massiangelo. Took 2 pitches, got behind in the count 0-2, finally swings and maybe chased above the zone to strike out on 3 pitches. Adams walked back in the first inning where he was stranded there after Galloway popped out. Oh. Adams pops it up, right side of the infield, into foul territory goes the first baseman Ham, right towards the first base coach's box. He makes the catch, and the Blues strand another runner in scoring position. Through 3, it's 2-0. You're watching Blues Baseball on the SLO Blues streaming network. you back from Sinsheimer Stadium on the SLO Blues streaming network. Back in the press box, I'm Jack Smith. To my right is Nate Mills, who joins me for the 4th through the 7th. The Blues trail it by 2 here on the SLO Blues streaming network. What's been your biggest takeaway of the first 3 innings?
So far right now, the Blues have been having a frustrating time on offense. They're continuing to put swings on balls in the zone, and you're seeing it. They're popping it out. They're grounding it out, not having a whole lot of strikeouts so far. And to go back on your report about the dugout, I think this is just a really special group of guys. It's special chemistry, especially for summer ball, and they're gelling together rather nicely.
New pitcher on the mound for the Blues. It's Hunter Hammond, the tall right-hander. We're seeing a trend here, Nate. Temporary players on the mound for the Blues today, maybe saving some of the Division I arms, the permanent arms for CCL play. This time it's Hunter Hammond, the big, tall right-hander, can run it up there at around 90 miles an hour. He's thrown 5 1/3 innings so far for the Blues this summer, has a 3.38 ERA.
Yeah, talk with Jake Bold about Hunter Hammond a little bit in the dugout. Talked about his impressive velocity, and he's got that 3/4 release, slings it in there. He's got a slider that almost looks like a cutter at how fast it comes in. He calls it a cut slider type of pitch, and Bold said he thinks that's the most effective he has in his arsenal.
Long fly ball foul by Peyton Miller. The count 0-1. And the 9-hole hitter takes strike 2 called on the inside corner. 0-2 the count. Miller singled back in the second, and there's already been 6 hits through 3 innings for the Humboldt Crabs, who had less than that all of yesterday and didn't score any runs. The 0-2. Miller strikes out swinging. So Hammond, a 3-pitch strikeout out of the pen, and just like that, there's one away. Was
there
that pitch?
Yeah, I was
there you
just
go.
going to say, there's that cut slider we were talking about. It bit very late coming into the plate. Almost skips into the dirt for out number 1.
I know Dean Trainer's been impressed with Hunter Hammond. You know, these guys are not the ones coaches are looking at most because they're only here for a temporary basis, but with the velocity, the kind of stuff and command that Hunter Hammond has, I know it's impressed Dean Trainer. And now back to the top of the order for the Crabs. Cubby Cortez takes outside. 1 ball and no strikes. 3 straight strikeouts for Blues pitching dating back to last inning. As Narin Cade the last 2 hitters he faced, here Hammond starts the 4th with a strikeout. 1-0. Cortez takes outside as well. 2 balls and no strikes.
Be nice to see some of the temporary guys come in and make meaningful contributions to the game. We're seeing Hicksonbaugh with 2 hits on the day, one of them a double. And if Hammond can perform like he can, it'd be nice for San Luis Obispo.
3 balls and no strikes. Cubby Cortez has reached once, also struck out. Hit by a pitch in the first, looking K in the second. Heading the count 3-0. Here's Hammond's offering. And it is flown into right, but foul. 3 balls and 1 strike. And alleviate some of the pressure off some of these permanent guys that have been playing a lot for the Blues. You see Nin Burns is out of the lineup. All the middle infielders for the Blues out of the lineup. There's a swing and a chopper towards the middle infield. It's J.P. Acosta who cleans it up this time and throws to first for the out. We saw Acosta last inning have trouble on a ground ball. It looked like it just took a wicked hop off of the lip of the grass. You see the same thing from field level?
I saw the same thing. That's how this infield plays. It's rather skippy. It comes at you quick. And like we talked about yesterday, speaking with Ryan Baum, who's been here at Sinsheimer a bit, you can't wait back at a ground ball here at Sinsheimer. Got to come after it because you never know what nasty hop can come back and get you.
So 2 straight retired by Hammond. And Reginato takes inside. 1 ball and no strikes. Same bat. I've heard that Reginato had other colorful bats, but he goes with the same one today. It's that neon pink and black one with his name spelled on it.
You took a look at his Instagram. He's got at least 2 other bats that look just like this one. Also got some more detail on what was written on there. It's his name, Wyatt Reginato, in spray-painted cursive, and 31 all over the bat. You see he's wearing number 31 today. He's got 3-1 in pink all over the barrel.
Love to see it. 2-0. Reginato uses the barrel, pops it up towards third base, heading over his Hicksonbaugh. He slides right against the fence and can't make the catch. Is Jake Hicksonbaugh okay? He's up quickly, limping around on his, what looks like his left foot, left knee. He took a major spill trying to catch that foul ball.
That kid is fearless. I love how he went after that ball. One of the younger guys on the field, and he is just recklessly going after that fence trying to get the ball. Love that effort.
Making the most, or at least trying to, out of his opportunities here with the Blues in non-league play. He's hitting above 500, and he's like, what if I can add a sliding catch into the fence? Couldn't quite make it, so the count 2 balls and 1 strike on Wyatt Reginato. As Hammond delivers, Reginato takes low, 3 balls and 1 strike. Hammond, just the 2 walks across the 5 1/3 he's thrown so far for the Blues. Wants to come in the zone here. 3-1. He does, and Reginato pops it up. Shallow right. In comes Augusto Schroeder, the right fielder. He calls off Blake Wilson, says ball, 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 and collects it for the final out. We're through 3.5. It is 2-0 Humboldt on the SLO Blues streaming network. Home half of the 4th on the SLO Blues streaming network, and San Luis Obispo trails it. Score of 2-0. Humboldt leads, and Blues are trying to get on the board for the first time. They send up Jacob Galloway, Darius Price, Augusto Schroeder here in the bottom of the 4th. Galloway had a prime opportunity his first time up, but popped out and stranded 2 runners in the first, making his Sinsheimer debut after playing his freshman season at USC. So Nolan Long's worked a scoreless first 3 frames. He kicks and deals. And Galloway takes it in the dirt. 1 ball and no strikes. Jacob Galloway came out of high school as the 7th-ranked catcher in California by perfect game. Harvard Westlake, one of the premier baseball institutions in Southern California, and home to 3 major leaguers, kind of a trinity of guys that came from Harvard Westlake. Jack Flaherty, Lucas Giolito, and Max Fried. As that's chopped towards second. Going to be a tough play for Reese. Had to give so much ground, and he unloads a way high throw to first. Galloway's in there, and Aaron throw, but that's certainly a hit for the USC catcher.
Blues catch a break on a throw there. They get a base runner on. Now Darius Price, he's just got to move him over. And something that the Blues didn't struggle with yesterday, but have been throughout the season, is scoring with those runners in scoring position. But the task at hand right now is just moving over Galloway.
So that's the first hit as a Blue for Jacob Galloway. He's on the board in the hit column, and he stands at first base with nobody out. Here's Darius Price, who hit the homer, went 3 for 4 in yesterday's game, and he laces that one foul. No balls and 1 strike. And you get a chance to talk with Darius Price after yesterday's game. What's the main thing you took away from that interview?
Yeah, Darius Price, very happy to be here. He's a guy that has a simple approach going up to the plate, doesn't change it if he's struggling or if he's doing well. He's just hunting his zone, hunts what he likes, and he goes after it.
Left fielder Miller plays him deep after yesterday night's blast. 0-1. Price flies it foul. No balls and 2 strikes. Well, I loved the meme that you put out on social media. If you haven't seen it yet, go follow the Blues on Twitter or Instagram. It's a photo of Darius looking at the camera, and the text just says, "Your team just paid the price."
It's more where that came from, guys.
You know broadcasters love their puns, so that was right up my alley. 0-2. Price tags it foul, straight back. No balls and 2 strikes still. Price lined out deep to center, 92-mile-an-hour shot right into the glove of the center fielder Crane in the 2nd inning.
Darius Price, also a part of a Riverside Community College California championship team just 2 seasons ago.
No balls, 2 strikes. Galloway's at first. The pitch is a check swing foul off the facing of the Blues dugout. Still 0-2.
My time at Palomar College, we happened to play Riverside a few times. Sorry about sweeping them in the regular season. But
so your team didn't play the price? Their team paid the price.
Well, we paid the price in the end because we were in the Final Four with them. They got the last laugh as they won the whole thing. But
Wow.
it's a good run for the Comets. It's a good run.
So you played against Darius Price.
I did.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't realize that until today.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
No balls, 2 strikes. Runner at first is Galloway after his inning starting single. Nolan Long from the stretch. The lefty kicks and deals. That's way high on the breaking ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
That was a funny conversation with Darius because our two teams didn't like each other that much. So
These two teams haven't liked each other all that much this weekend.
No,
but
it's
Crabs are out in front. The pitch. Price pops it up. Shallow right. In comes Reginato, the right fielder. Out goes Lunsford, the second baseman. And it's Reginato who makes the catch. Chain of command goes to the right fielder, and he collects it for the first out.
that's a spot that's been worn out so far today. Seems like everyone's popping out to that shallow right field. Wouldn't be surprised if I was starting to see the right fielders play in a little bit more there.
The Crabs have popped out 3 times. That's the 4th pop out for the Blues. It feels like we're just seeing pop-ups all day. And a day yesterday where the Blues outfielders didn't catch a ball in the air. And it's been a bit different story today. Here's Augusto Schroeder as the pick goes to first for Galloway, not in time.
And that's the whole mental part of baseball is you can go a whole day without even touching the ball, and then the next you could be getting it every other pitch.
Schroeder takes on the outside corner. Schroeder playing right field in the outfield for the first time this summer. We've seen him play shortstop and third, but we have not seen him take the outfield. Today he's playing right.
Yeah.
I'm sure he drew that assignment. He looked at the game yesterday. He's like, sweet, I got a free day out there in right field. And no, he's been tested. 0-1 on the way. Schroeder takes it high. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, it's a different look for the Blues defense out there, but he seems to be handling it pretty well. His throws look pretty good. He was fielding the ball all right. He's fitting in.
So a 1-1 count on the right fielder from Arkansas State, hitting below 180 now on the summer, but does have a run batted in. 1-1. Schroeder takes at the top of the zone. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Not an easy position to roll into, by the way. It's harder than you would think. You just go, oh, just stick the guy in the right. No, it's a tough spot to play.
That tells me that Dean Traynor has some confidence in the arm, at least, of Augusto Schroeder. So 1-2. As Long delivers, Schroeder takes outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And it's tough because the way the ball comes off the bat, playing it in right, the angle's a little weird. It's kind of different. The ball's slicing, could be cutting. It's difficult to get a judge on it.
2-2. Schroeder takes inside. A nice at-bat. The count moves full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Galloway led off the inning with a single. He's at first base, the catcher from USC. After Price's pop-out, we're here in this situation. Full count, runner at first with 1 away. On deck, Jacob LaPrairie, who singled his first time up. The pitch. Schroeder chases high and swings and misses. That's the 3rd strikeout for Nolan Long. It's the 2nd out here in the 4th.
Long goes up the ladder, and Schroeder falls for it. He goes after the fastball, up and out of the zone. Long wins that one for the 2nd out.
A Tulane left fielder steps in now, Jacob LaPrairie. The single in the 2nd was his first hit as a Blue. Making his home debut, he takes a fastball at the top of the zone. No balls and 1 strike. LaPrairie was 0 for 2 with a walk and a stolen base in his debut. That came in Pasadena against the Saints. Game 2 of that 2-game sweep at the hands of Arroyo Seco. And now he's going to hit his first at-bat at home. 0-1 on the way. LaPrairie takes strike 2 called. So Long quickly ahead in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. Galloway's at first. He'll run on the crack of the bat, but Long has shut down the Blues offense so far. He delivers. Galloway's on the move. Throw down from Cortez. It's wide and bounces into center as Galloway's got a stolen base.
Instead of the crack of the bat, he just goes at the leg lift. And Galloway gets a stolen base.
Well, Galloway's got the catcher bragging rights now because he threw out Cubby Cortez in the 1st inning, and now he's stolen a base on Cortez.
Baller.
So he's got 2 wins, and Cortez is still at 0.
Winning the catcher's battle.
Yep. What really matters. So 1-2 count, runner in scoring position for the Blues. The pitch to LaPrairie. and La Prairie lines it foul off the netting. Still 1 ball and 2 strikes.
So I'm looking here, and you said he's from La Prairie, by the way, from Lafayette, Louisiana, was named the happiest city in America in 2014. Now we're in San Luis Obispo. The nickname of SLO is America's happiest city.
Isn't that what Oprah thought? Like, I think it was Oprah that tabbed that nickname at some point.
Santa
as well.
Barbara resident Oprah?
Boy, watch out. That was a curveball that we've seen be a little bit errant in the last couple innings, and right over the head of La Prairie. Good thing it didn't touch the bat. 2 balls and 2 strikes. I talked with La Prairie, though. I was like, is it weird to be completely across the country? And he's like, well, you know, I like Louisiana, but there's no mountains in Louisiana. And here he's in SLO. You've got mountains in the outfield.
The Bayou.
Trying to come through for SLO. Galloway takes off for third. The pitch is outside, and Cortez lets him take the base for free. It's 3-0 in the catcher's battle. Galloway's got another stolen base.
Those of you keeping track at home at catcher's battles, it's a good day to be the Blues.
So Galloway's at third. The payoff pitch. La Prairie takes outside. A walk for the Lafayette native, and he's at first. Runners at the corners with 2 outs, and the batter will be the 9-hole hitter Blake Wilson.
Blake Wilson getting a chance here to get rid of that goose egg for the Blues in front of a home crowd in his first time in front of everyone at Sinsheimer.
Meeting at the mound first, it's Eric Giacone that comes out to talk with Long, the left-hander. This is Wilson's debut as well, and it's not only his debut at home. This is the first game he's played. He's been with the team for weeks. We're on the buses and see him taking BP with the team. He's been at every game recently, but the first time he's getting into a lineup for Dean Traynor. The 5'10", 185-pound infielder heading to Washington popped out his first time up, almost snuck in a hit right in that right field area we were talking about. But he's still looking for his first Blues hit and just his second Blues at bat. And it's a big spot. Runners at first and third. 2 outs here in the 4th.
With 1 swing of the bat, he could go from complete stranger to familiar hero for all the fans here in SLO.
So Long works from the windup with a runner at third. And I think now he realized what he was doing. He's switching to the stretch. La Prairie's at first. Galloway's at third. First pitch to Wilson, and he pops it up. Right field again, right at Reginato, who tracks it back a little bit and makes the catch. A first pitch out for Blake Wilson. Strands 2 runners here in the 4th. We're through 4 innings. 2-0 our score here on the SLO Blues streaming network. 2-4-5 due up for the Humboldt Crabs, who lead San Luis Obispo 2-0 in this rubber match game, the second of such games for the Blues this summer. And they won the first one, Nate. I remember that game, 19-6. That was a long one here at Sinsheimer Stadium. This one runs are at a little bit more of a premium, and it's Colby Lunsford due to lead things off for the Crabs in the fifth against Hunter Hammond with a 2-run lead. Hammond delivers, and Lunsford takes a big hack at the first pitch, tips it back into the glove of Galloway, strike one. The 0-1 as Lunsford takes, strike two called. Lunsford's 1 for 2, singled, stole a base, and scored in the first, popped out to right in the second. One of those many pop-ups we were talking about. Hammond strides and shoots and misses 0-2 outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Another beautiful day in San Luis Obispo. Crowd coming in on a Mimosa Sunday to watch Blues and Crabs in Game 3 of this split series. 1-2. Lunsford down swinging. Another strikeout for Hammond. That's his second out of the pen, and there's one away.
Easy 4-pitch at bat for Hammond. This one's quick, and he gets Lunsford to swing at 2 pitches that were not in the zone for the strikeout.
Chase rate. So that's the big thing nowadays for pitchers is can you throw balls but get people to swing? That's what Hammond did to get the strikeout. As here he throws a strike on the inside corner. 0-1 the count on Billy Ham, the first baseman from Nevada.
Coming to the game, you guys are into sabermetrics. Hammond's got a 22.2% chase rate.
No chases here yet, but it's 0-2 on the first baseman from Nevada. Ham, who's 0 for 2, does have an RBI on the fielder's choice in the first. The tall righty kicks and fires. And Ham hits a liner, 1 hop to Wilson into the outfield grass. He spins around and makes the throw. Nice play by the freshman heading to Washington, and there's 2 outs.
That's a tougher play than it looks. Referring back to the hot infield we got here at Sinsheimer, he had to corral that one up in the chest area. Coming in quickly and gets it off for out number 2.
So the batter will be Griffin Myers, designated hitter from Washington State. We've seen Myers in all 3 games of this series, 3 different positions as he takes the 0-0 in the dirt, 1 ball and no strikes. Caught on Friday, first baseman yesterday, DHing today. But you got to have him in the lineup with how good his bat has been. And he's reached base both times today, a walk and a single. Way inside on the 1-0 fastball, 1 ball and no strikes. For how good Myers has been this summer for Humboldt, I struggle to understand how he didn't see any time in his first 2 years at Washington State. 2-0. That's high, 3 balls and no strikes. So Hammond collects himself. 3 balls, no strikes, 2 outs here in the 5th, with the Crabs having a 2-run lead. He delivers, and Myers takes high. It's a 4-pitch walk, and there's a runner at first with 2 outs.
That one was close.
Well, when you're an umpire, if a guy is missing a lot in that bat, you see some of them that are willing to expand the zone to try and get the guy a strike, and some that are a little bit more selective, where if you're throwing strikes, you're going to get those calls, and if you're not, then you're not. We
saw yesterday with A.J. Moreno, it's the first thing that comes to mind, where he was throwing strikes on that outer half to righties and was sort of starting to expand the zone that way.
Here's Luke Reese. He takes low, 1 ball and no strikes. Reese singled in the first, knocked in a run, reached on an error by the shortstop Acosta in the 3rd. 2 runs in the first inning for the Crabs. The Blues haven't scored. There's been no scoring since that top of the 1st. The 2-0 score still holds. Hammond comes home. Myers bluffed to second, and that's 6 straight out of the zone for Hunter Hammond.
We've seen this a lot in this series, but also throughout the whole summer. Hammond coming set with that front foot closed off and that toe pointed towards shortstop. This is a new pitching mechanic that we've been seeing as of late. It's to generate more torque. Kind of a new development with driveline and tread athletics becoming a popular thing. It's a new discovery loading into that back hip hinge, and it's easier to unleash and throw for some more velocity like we're seeing here with Hammond.
Sometimes the unfortunate thing is people do substitute velocity for control. As Hammond trying to find the zone, he does after Galloway talks to him. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Yeah, it's like a guy on TikTok that goes, ball.
I have no idea what you're talking about. But
there'll be guys that who will pitch for workouts. Fun fact, that is my high school coach.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, where the guy just shows off. He's like, I finally hit 90 miles an hour. It's like, well, yeah, you threw all balls to a fake mitt.
Yep.
The count 3 balls, 1 strike on Luke Reese. Andrew Crane stands on deck. Runner at first and 2 outs. Hammond picks there, and Myers is back in. So your high school coach has a TikTok presence. Is that where you picked up the social media?
He has a huge TikTok presence. It came out of it kind of happened during the pandemic. Everyone on the team was like, I think Coach Savicki's getting popular.
3-1. Reese takes strike 2 call, and he knew it. Count moves full.
But no, I didn't really. I think we started at the same time, but he has a head start on me. He's millions of followers now.
All you got to do is say ball.
I guess so.
So full count. Myers will move from first. But Hammond picks there first, and he got him. A successful pickoff ends the inning, and we don't even need a 3-2 pitch. That's a strike, not a ball to first, and Myers is retired on the pickoff. We head to the bottom of the 5th. It's 2-0 Humboldt on the SLO Blues streaming network.
It's J.P. Acosta leading off the Blues in the bottom of the 5th inning. Long stays out there. Acosta popping out to Long in the 3rd and striking out in the 1st. Blues looking for a run.
Nolan Long, the lefty, back from the windup. He kicks and deals 0-0. And Acosta rolls it on the ground to 3rd. Frank up with it behind the third base bag. Throws across the diamond in time for the out. 1 pitch, 1 out in the 5th.
You got a perfect hop right there. Kicked a rock or something right into his glove.
Acosta, who made the error at shortstop for the Blues on the wicked hop, he's like, how come those don't come to me at short? And he's retired on 1 pitch. Acosta's 0 for 3 at the top of the order. Jake Hicksonbaugh has 2 of the Blues' 4 hits, and he's hitting now above 500, well above 500 on the season for the Blues. Long hasn't been able to get him out as he misses low, 1 ball and no strikes.
Just as he did in high school last year, 543 in 117 plate appearances.
1-0. That's just insane, as that's on the outside corner, 1 ball and 1 strike. And, you know, you can look at that at the high school level and be like, okay, he's come in here, he's done the exact same thing. And it doesn't even look like it's been too hard for him. 1-1. That's another base hit up the middle, or maybe it's not. Off the end of the bat, Reese throws way high. This is going to be an interesting decision. Hitter and error. I thought that ball was a rocket off the bat, but it seemed like Hicksonbaugh caught it off the end, and he gets credit for a hit. He's 3 for 3.
That is quite a miscue by Reese. Completely slipped out of his fingers and lands midway up the net above the first base dugout. And I'll give him a hit on that. That's a hit.
The official score gives him a hit as well. I don't know if you saw it differently from here, but it looked like a liner up the middle. I think he just caught it a little too much off the end of the bat, and it died once it got to second base. So here's Matt Massiangelo. The Blues keep getting opportunities with runners on. They need to take advantage, as Massiangelo had a tough at-bat his last time. He's behind the count 0-1. Massiangelo took 2 fastballs for strikes to start his at-bat and then swung above the zone at a breaking ball to strike out on 3 pitches back in the 3rd. Hixenbaugh with the lead at first. Long working from the stretch. He aims and fires. And Massiangelo takes again. No balls and 2 strikes. So Massiangelo is going to readjust the batting gloves, step back in, and he's just been behind in counts all day today. Oh, 2 on the way. Got him. Strike 3 called. Breaking ball in the outside corner, and Hixenbaugh, or Massiangelo, strikes out once again.
Massiangelo knew it, and if you were to talk to him, he would have told you. I should have swung at one of those pitches earlier on in the at-bat. I feel like that's where he lost it when he took strike 1. Long was able to go right back to that same spot for strike 2 and then get him away on that slider for strike 3.
Here's TJ Adams. 0 for 1, a walk and a pop out. He takes low, 1 ball and 1 strike. It's just been a tough day at the plate for Massiangelo. It's like the one hitter that's gotten the toughest pitches from Nolan Long, and it's been him in every at-bat. 1-0. Adams takes on the inside corner, 1 ball and 1 strike. Adams is a guy that could tie this game up with 1 swing. He was the one that when we got here the first game for batting practice, his power was maybe the most apparent, was putting him out despite the wind knocking down fly balls. 1-1, Hixenbaugh takes off. Adams hits a liner the other way, past the glove of the second baseman Lunsford. Hixenbaugh around to third, and it gets by the right fielder Reginato. Hixenbaugh had the stop sign. Now he comes in to score. It's 2-1.
Hixenbaugh running through the stop sign. Love it. It pays off, and the Blues finally get on the board off of a TJ Adams single. Luckily for him, Lunsford was breaking towards second base. Had he not, that's probably a line drive right at his head and the inning's over. But this is a well-struck ball nonetheless by Adams, and he's at second.
So Adams gets the single, and Hixenbaugh was held up at third. Then the ball got under the glove of the right fielder Reginato, so Hixenbaugh realized, hey, I have an opportunity now to go score. And that miscue, the second error for the Crabs, allows the run to come in to score. And now Jacob Galloway, a chance to redeem himself after his pop-up in the first. Another runner in scoring position, the tying run at second for the Blues with 2 outs. Pitch down low. That Adams single was the 6th hit for the Blues, who have now evened up that hit column with the Crabs, 6 for each side.
That's the admirable thing about Hixenbaugh. Guy's fearless.
He also knows he's only here for a couple more games. Doesn't matter if he runs through a stop sign.
Even when he was playing, he's had that same mentality.
Galloway right back up the middle, off the ankle of the pitcher Long. Here comes the catcher Cortez. He fakes the throw. No one's at third to get Adams. Runners at the corners with 2 outs, and Long is hurt.
Ooh, that hurts. This is struck well directly at Long's ankle. He's hobbling, and the trainers are taking a look at that left ankle. It looks like that's the foot he pushes off as a left-handed pitcher. It's an important one.
And that just always hurts, and Long is feeling it right now. We're going to take a break as Long walks this thing off. Blues will have runners at first and third with 2 outs here in the 5th. So Long staying out. Looks like he's okay. Took a little bit of time to walk around after that 93-mile-an-hour line drive to the ankle. Couple warm-up pitches, and he's back on the hill. First and third for the Blues, 2 outs. Tying runs at third, and TJ Adams and Darius Price, who's 0 for 2, steps up. Long comes home 0-0. And Price pops it up on the first pitch. Shallow right. This could be trouble. Lunsford, the second baseman, into foul territory. Makes the catch for the final out. So Long limps off, but he gets through the fifth. 1 run for the Blues as we head to the top of the sixth inning. It's 2-1 on the SLO Blues streaming network. We've got breaking news from Sinsheimer Stadium. A fan has made it in the bucket. I don't remember the number, Nate, but someone on this left side, third base side, right behind the Crabs dugout, just planted a ball inside the bucket behind home plate and earned Blues season tickets. And of course, it's the day after we commentate the whole thing.
Hey, but we got my social media crew down there. We got the thing on video, so stay tuned to the Instagram account to check it out. Unbelievable.
Love to see it. And that fan now gets to come to every game just because they hit one tennis ball inside a bucket. And it was a straight shot, too. We've been saying all summer that the best strategy is probably to bounce it in. It almost knocked over the bucket but stayed in.
It defied the laws of physics because it's so bouncy. Usually we've seen people make it in and it bounces out. This one was drilled and it just sat in there. It's incredible.
So Hunter Hammond stays out for the sixth. The Blues got on the board on the single from Jacob Galloway off the ankle of Nolan Long. Long ended up finishing the fifth, straining a couple more runners, so the Blues still trail. But Hunter Hammond back out for his third inning of work, looking to keep it close. Coming up for the Crabs here in the sixth, it'll be Luke Reese, Andrew Crane, Braden Frank. As Hammond has faced the minimum through his first 2 innings as well, after the pickoff move to get Myers. New season ticket holder at Sinsheimer Stadium. So here comes Reese. Reese was in a 3-2 count, preparing for a payoff pitch in a deep battle with Hunter Hammond before Myers was picked off first. So now he comes up to start the sixth. Hammond delivers, and Reese takes strike one. One lucky fan. That's got to feel good, too. That is such an athletic achievement. 0-1 inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. I mean, what have we seen? At least a couple thousand tennis balls thrown this summer. That's the first one to go in. 1-1. Reese takes it outside in front of the left-hand batter's box. 2 balls and 1 strike.
We got to get one of our stats guys to do the odds of that happening.
Yeah. What was the exit velo on that?
Yeah.
Pitches inside, 3 balls and 1 strike. From the launch angle of it, it looked like it came from up on the grass on that third base side. Reese swings and misses at the 3-1. 3 balls and 2 strikes. So Hammond, another 3-2 count. He deals, and Reese takes outside. It's a walk as he tosses his bat back to the dugout. Runner aboard with nobody out.
Awfully close. That pitch is too close to take, but Reese is awarded first.
So it's a second straight walk by Hammond if you go back to last inning as well. And the batter now, Andrew Crane, the center fielder from Chico State. You want to talk about athletic achievements? Chico State's player profile page on Andrew Crane lists that his quote, that the most impressive thing he's ever done is winning a donut contest when he was 9 years old. As he takes upstairs, 1 ball and no strikes. He said, this is a quote too, "I had to eat a stepped-on donut that was on the street in order to break the tie and secure the victory. I beat a bunch of 40 and 50-year-olds, including my dad."
Oh.
He put that online.
Oh, a stepped-on donut, dude.
He was 9, so his immune system must have been very strong.
I honestly didn't know what a donut contest was until you provided that you had to eat it. I thought it was some sort of sport that I didn't know about.
Did you ever play the one where they have the little mini ones and they hang them on the string and you have to eat them without the hands?
Yeah.
My guess is it was one of those. But that's always you only have to eat 1 donut.
Where do you hear about a donut contest? Where do you sign up? Because I've never
Local pool? That would be my guess. Like 4th of July party? I don't know.
I've never used it's a banner, a social media post. I've never seen anything on that.
1-0. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike. Crane is 0 for 2 today. Pop up to shortstop in the first. Struck out looking in the third. I still can't believe that he disclosed this information to his college baseball team, but you'll love to see it. It's a little bit high on the pickoff move. Reese is back in.
Yeah, any fun facts you want to throw on the pager? Oh, yeah, I got one. I won a donut contest when I was 9.
I wonder if he's just more agile than the 40 and 50-year-olds. He laces this one. Diving stop by Hickson by the third baseman, but it bounces off the leather into foul territory. Crane gets a hit. Maybe as impressive as a donut contest win, but first and second with nobody out for the Crabs looking to respond after the Blues got on the board in the 5th.
This is a good effort by Hickson, just couldn't quite come up with it. That was an athletic play right there, but couldn't squeeze it. And Crane's aboard.
So Braden Frank comes up, third baseman from Sacramento State, 0 for 2 with a ground out and a strikeout. It's his first appearance in this series. Frank squares to bunt and lays it down foul. Luke Reese was attempting to steal on the play as well. Count, no balls and 1 strike. Everyone returns back to their bag.
Probably should be on the same page there as you see their third base coach throwing on the signs. That's John Bryant. You don't want to take off on a bunt because if you pop up that bunt and either the pitcher or the catcher, whoever catches it, they can just go right back to first, and that's a double play. So you got to make sure your head's up and you're making sure the ball hits the ground.
Frank squares again, takes a slider right over the plate. No balls and 2 strikes. And now we'll see how much do the Crabs trust Braden Frank to get down a bunt with 2 strikes. Oh, 2 runners on. Reese at second, Crane at first. Hammond kicks and deals. Frank doesn't bunt and pops it into left. Heading back is LaPrairie as the ball continues to carry. He makes the catch and flings it in, 1 out. So good response from Hammond. In that scenario, if you're the Crabs, have to have a productive at-bat. Move the guys over at least, but Frank couldn't get the bunt down, and now he pops out. Now the 9-hole hitter, Peyton Miller, who's 1 for 2, single in the second, struck out in the 4th.
And this is a guy, pretty good candidate for the Crabs here to move the runners over. Contact hitter out of UOP, batting .304 in his freshman season.
He squares to bunt, lays it down foul. So the bunt's not off the table for the Crabs. The count, no balls and 1 strike. All right, Miller does hit .4 average. Not as much of the slug variety, just the 5 doubles. No triples, no homers. But going to the D1 level, hitting .304 as a freshman, that's no easy task. 0-1. We'll see if Miller tries to lay it down again. Matt Massiangelo, the first baseman for the Blues, plays in near the grass. Miller doesn't square and takes the 0-1 outside. Nice block by Galloway to keep it in front. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Good pick.
Miller was the Thousand Oaks School Varsity Sports MVP in 2022. Hails from Thousand Oaks, California, went to Thousand Oaks High School, and then headed to the University of the Pacific. 1-1. Miller swings, hits the liner into left. It falls in front of LaPrairie for a base hit. Stop sign at third for Reese. Bases are loaded with 1 out for the Crabs.
Yeah, not what the Blues want here. Now you got to flip it up towards the top of the order, and Cortez, you got the bases loaded, 1 out. All he's really got to do just to get the minimum is just flip the ball out into anywhere in the outfield, and Reese can tag and score.
And this is where the carry to left hurts the Blues. Even if it's a pop-up to left, it still might creep deep enough to bring in a run. As Hammond works from the windup, first pitch to Cubby Cortez, and Cortez rips it foul on the ground down the third base line. No balls and 1 strike. Cortez hit by a pitch in the first. Since then, he's struck out and grounded out. Though for the Blues, it is a chance where you could roll a double play. The middle infield, as you see, is back. Corners are in. Hicksonbaugh at third, Massiangelo at first. Cortez takes outside. Another great slide block by Galloway. 1 ball, 1 strike. Cortez has 3 runs batted in this summer for the Crabs. Came into this game hitting .286. Hammond needs to bear down. 1-1. He misses out. 2 balls and 1 strike. 2 runs for the Crabs in the first. They have not scored again since, but they threaten here in the top of the 6th. The Blues got on the board in the 5th, trying to keep it a 1-run game. 2-1. Cortez rips a liner into center field, base hit. Over the head of the shortstop Acosta. Up comes the center fielder Adams. His low throw, gloved by Galloway. No tag. And Crane is safe at second. 4-1 Crabs.
That is the last thing the Blues wanted to happen right there. This is just a base hit. Nice stroke by Cortez in the left center. Adams comes up firing. Thought he had a chance to throw out Crane, but the throw is a little wide. There's no tag, and the Crabs tack on 2 more.
Dean Traynor comes out to argue the tag call at home. From my vantage point, Galloway made a nice play to catch it, but he did not make contact with Crane, the runner.
No, good effort, but the tag was not there.
Reese scores. Crane scores on the 3rd hit of this inning for the Crabs. They're up to 9 on the day now. And for how much work the Blues had to do to get within 1, Dean Traynor might get thrown out from another game with the way he's arguing at home plate.
It's the same guy who tossed him yesterday at the lineup card exchange.
Traynor really berating him at home. He was thrown out at the lineup card exchange yesterday. And this could be another opportunity where there's only a couple more innings and he's trying to fire up his squad. Still heated. And now moves on, might argue with another umpire. Or he goes to the bullpen. So Hunter Hammond's coming out of this game. He's allowed 2 runs, and the Crabs threaten for more. It's a lefty coming in, and we'll introduce you to him when we come back on the SLO Blues Streaming Network. We're back here on the SLO Blues Streaming Network. Brett Pinkerton, who's coming into the game, hasn't thrown a warm-up pitch, as Dean Traynor was tossed right after we went to break. He then argued the call at home, walked all the way out, moving past 3 umpires to get to the third base umpire who threw him out in the outfield, walked all the way back to the Blues dugout before coming towards home, and as you saw just as we come back, kicked dirt all over home plate. Nate, that's the second straight game Dean Traynor has been ejected. It's not the same guy who threw him out yesterday. This time, a secondary umpire came in, tossed him from the game. Late in this one, later than yesterday, I guess, in the lineup card exchange, but Dean Traynor has been thrown out of his second straight game.
That was quite a show.
Quite the show.
I think everyone liked that one. Hopefully the guys in the dugout did as well, and hopefully that can spark something up for this team. They certainly needed, trailing by 3 runs, and we're pretty deep into this game in the top of the 5th, like halfway through. So,
well, there's no question he got his money's worth. It was, the entire 2 minutes we were out on commercial, he was out there arguing. Took him about 45 seconds to get tossed, another minute of arguing, and then comes back to kick dirt all over home plate. He did not like the call at home plate, and he has not liked the calls in this series. And he's been thrown out of his second straight. Could be another manager tactic, trying to get the team going here, trailing by 3. But the new lefty coming in is Brett Pinkerton. You might not recognize him. The hair's a little shorter since he last appeared for the Blues, but the lefty takes over for Hunter Hammond, first and second with 1 out.
that was a textbook definition of getting your money's worth.
Never a dull moment, certainly. So Pinkerton's into this game. He's thrown 4 1/3 innings for the Blues so far this summer, an ERA 10.38 on 5 earned runs, 2 strikeouts, 3 walks. He's given up 3 hits. And this is the 3rd straight high school pitcher to come out. The crowd's now realizing that Dean Traynor is walking up the stairs, and he has to walk across the concourse to exit the stadium. And the crowd's just watching him walk all the way. They cheered him on emphatically during it was quite a show. We're sorry we were at break.
There goes my hero.
Riot Reginato's up now. The right fielder from Folsom Lake College is 2 for 3. Another chance to add for the Crabs. 2 runners on, 1 out. Pinkerton deals the first pitch and spots up on the inside corner. No balls and 1 strike. The 2 things you can do there, you can fire up your team, but also the umpires for the rest of this game are most likely going to be anti-blue.
Well, and these umpires are local, so we could also see them somewhere down the road, back again at Sinsheimer or in another CCL game.
They'll remember the name Dean Traynor, and who knows if it'll be in a good way, as he's been thrown out from his 2nd straight game. So the Blues have to maneuver through the last couple innings of this one without their leader. 1 ball, 1 strike on Wyatt Reginato. The right fielder from Folsom Lake College came into this game hitting .447. Hit here might bring in another run for the Crabs, their 3rd of the inning. As Reginato does indeed lace a line drive into right center field. It falls down. TJ Adams plays the weird carom. In to score from second is Peyton Miller. At third is Cubby Cortez, and thrown out at second is Wyatt Reginato.
Weird hop at TJ Adams. It must have caught a lump of the grass, but he comes up with it and guns out Reginato at second. I think he's out.
And now here comes Robin Guyver to argue.
What a day.
Boo birds rain out, and the Crabs are hyping them up. They want more boos, as Robin Guyver, a quicker discussion, you would say, than Dean Traynor had. He's back to the dugout. Reginato is out at second, but another run comes in for the Crabs. It's 5-1 here in the top of the 6th. What is going on here at Sinsheimer Stadium? So Reginato out trying to stretch the single into a double. There have been 4 hits in the inning, on top of the inning starting walk by Hunter Hammond. Reginato the latest, as there's a high drive to left, carrying on La Prairie. He looks up, and all he can do is watch it fly. A home run off the light post for Colby Lunsford, his 3rd of the year, and this game's broken open.
That was obliterated off the light pole in left field. He knew it immediately. The biggest bat flip I've seen in a while. walking towards first, and the dugout did not like that one.
Blues chirping as Lunsford taps home his team-leading third home run this season. It was 2-1 Crabs when the inning started. There's 2 outs, and someone else just got thrown out for the Blues. 5-run inning for Humboldt. And after Dean Traynor was thrown out yesterday and Robbie Lardner was thrown out yesterday, now Dean Traynor ejected once again, and someone else from the Blues dugout has been yanked. Testy play here at Sinsheimer Stadium this weekend, not reflective of what the Blues have been this season.
I feel like it's come in the span of, 5 minutes?
I'm trying to figure out who it is. No one's walked out of the dugout yet, as that's ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes to Billy Ham. Kobe Lunsford really just unscrewed this game for the Crabs. 1-0. Ham takes at the top of the zone, 1 ball and 1 strike. So Pinkerton comes in, back-to-back hits, one of them a homer. The Crabs have 5 hits and 5 runs in this inning. 1-1. Ham rolls it on the ground towards first. Massiangelo has to give ground. An overhand flip to Pinkerton. A diving slide for Ham, but he's out. 3 outs in the inning, but 5 runs for the Crabs. As we head bottom 6, it's now 7-1 Humboldt on the SLO Blues streaming network. New pitcher in for the Crabs and a new 6-run lead for Humboldt. The new arm is Clayton Ray, 6 foot, 205-pound left-hander from Santa Cruz.
You spent 2 years at Cabrillo College. Was there during the pandemic, and in that time was having some elbow issues. Made some mechanical adjustments, put on some weight, gained some strength, also gained some velo. Then went to the University of Nevada, where he threw up a 4.50 ERA last year in 8 innings pitched.
Pitch to Augusto Schroeder is laced into the gap in left center field, and it watches it go to the wall. Augusto Schroeder tags it. He slips around first, and he's into second with a no-out double.
That's the start you want. You want to come back from an inning where you blow up 5 runs. Double in the first pitch is not bad.
Well, the Blues labored a lot to score their first run in the bottom of the 5th. Ended up coming through after they had a couple of hits. Jake Hixenbach came in to score on a single by Adams and an error by the right fielder Reginato. Then Humboldt responded by scoring 5 runs. 2 Blues were ejected. Colby Lunsford launched a homer, And now the Blues trail it by 6. But you're right, that's how you want to start it. Going to take a big comeback for the Blues to win this series in their second rubber match of the year. But Schroeder's aboard at second. Here's Jacob LaPrairie.
You know what they say, boys. 7-1 lead. Worst lead in baseball.
LaPrairie pops it up foul. 1 ball and no strikes. LaPrairie has reached in both plate appearances he's had in his home debut for the Blues, a single in the second and a walk in the fourth. 7-1 our score here in the bottom of the 6th, the game that's completely been turned on its head. 0-1. LaPrairie ahead of the breaking ball. No balls and 2 strikes.
That was a good pitch. No, it was a slider, but it still looked like he pulled the string on that one.
Clayton Ray, the new lefty, trying to battle around the leadoff double. He's got LaPrairie and a no ball, 2 strike count. The pitch is a little bit low. Called strike. And if that's a called strike, it's strike 3. Umpire didn't know it was strike 3. LaPrairie did, and he's down on strikes. Looked a little bit low, but apparently in the zone. That's a strikeout for Clayton Ray, his first out of the pen.
It'd be too close to take for LaPrairie there, but not a fan favorite, that call.
No, there have been a lot of boos here today after the ejections, what the Blues thought was a missed call at home. And now LaPrairie strikes out on 3 pitches. So here's Blake Wilson, second baseman, 2 pop-outs to right in his debut for the Blues. Wilson takes outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Blues second to last non-league game of the year, and they've taken opportunity to throw some high school arms out there. They pitched pretty well until Pinkerton gave up the home run. It really opened this game up. It's now 7-1 as Wilson swings and misses, 1 ball and 1 strike. Clayton Ray from the stretch looks to Schroeder at second, now comes home. And Wilson flies it down the right field line, hook and foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Sure, the 2023 Santa Margarita Catholic Male Athlete of the Year would like to come through in this situation. Score Schroeder, at least.
Still looking for his first Blues hit. He's hit 2 weak fly balls to right field. Both we thought might have had a chance of falling, but didn't quite fall in for base hits. 1-2. Wilson pops it up again. Again on the right side. Reginato's not going to have a chance. It's Ham, and he slips and falls right in foul territory. His feet completely came out from under him. And a second life for Wilson. Still 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Ham overruns this, tries to throw on the brakes and come back, and he slips, and Wilson will get another life.
Would have been a tough play either way for Billy Ham, the first baseman, but it's a good thing he's okay. That was a little bit of a whiplash as he just slipped and fell completely on his backside out in foul territory. Still 1 ball and 2 strikes on Blake Wilson, second baseman heading to Washington. The pitch, and Wilson rolls it on the ground into the hole at third. Diving play by Frank. He gets up, and he's got no play. The first base hit for Blake Wilson as a Blue. Runners at first and third with 1 out.
It's a ball that's hit in front of Schroeder. He's got no base runners behind him, but he just takes off right away anyway. If this ball is just a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right, they might have gunned him back out at second, but luckily it splits the gap in the 5.5 hole nearly perfectly, and there's runners at the corners.
A little bit of life for Blues in the bottom of the 6th. It's Schroeder at third, Wilson at first as Acosta hits a little flare over the head of the second baseman Lunsford. He reaches and makes the catch. He doesn't see it, but he could have gotten Schroeder at third. Nice play by the second baseman Lunsford, who homered last inning. And just like that, Acosta retired on 1 pitch. Could have been an RBI single.
Nice job by Schroeder getting back to third base. He was 3/4 of the way, almost touching home, and he throws on the brakes, gets back to third safely. Luckily, that run is still aboard.
We'll have a 6th inning. Colby Lunsford homered in the top half. That play to save a run here in the bottom half. And the batter now Jake Hicksonbaugh, who's 3 for 3. And that bounces away from the catcher Cortez. In comes Schroeder. It's 7-2. Moving up to second as well as Wilson. Blues within 5.
Blues trying to get some momentum back here, and that run, it's a good way to start. Don't got to get them all at one time. Just chipping away, and they get one here in the 5th.
Cortez had just no chance. That fastball was so low and outside that he's lucky it even touched him at all. Bounced way to the backstop, which is deep here at Sinsheimer Stadium. And now if Hixenbach can advance to 4 for 4, he might knock in another run. That pitch is on the outside corner, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Not only is it deep, it's made entirely of netting. So it's not going to bounce a whole lot, and loose netting, might I add. So it's not going to kick back. Not going to have a lot of forgiveness if you're a catcher trying to retrieve the ball.
Hixenbach, 2 singles and a double today. And he swings, beats it on the ground towards third. Slow roller to Frank, who has to come up quickly firing, and he guns out Hixenbach, who's retired for the first time today. Blues score again in the 6th. It's 7-2 Humboldt as we head to the 7th inning. Top of the 7th, 7-2, the Humboldt Crabs lead in the rubber match of this 3-game series between San Luis Obispo and the Crabs. Staying on the mound is Brett Pinkerton. And here's Griffin Myers, the 5-hole hitter, to lead things off. Oh, pitch is inside, 1 ball and no strikes. Nate, maybe the Blues now, you know they still want to come back, but could turn their attention to next week's slate. 5 games on the docket next week. Tuesday and Wednesday versus the Conejo Oaks, who the Blues are 0 for 2 against this series, as Myers beats that one into left field, base hit. So the second hit for Myers, he's reached in all 4 at-bats. After the Tuesday-Wednesday matchups against Conejo, it's Friday-Saturday versus the Academy Barons, and then another non-league matchup Sunday versus the Ventura County Pirates. That game against the Pirates will be the Blues' last game in non-conference play. Pitch to Luke Reese is on the outside corner. No balls and 1 strike. Oh, one. A pick to first, and Myers is back in. Myers was picked off to end the 5th inning, so Pinkerton wants to try some of his lefty move, but not in time to get the DH. 0-1 on the way. Reese takes it on the inside or the outside corner. No balls and 2 strikes. Reese so far today has reached all 3 times. Singled in the first, reached on an error in the third, walked and scored in that 5-run 6th. That was just last inning. With the single from Myers to start this inning, Pinkerton's come in. He's faced 4 batters, given up 3 hits, including the long home run to Lunsford. 0-2. Now Reese lines one into left. How about 5 batters, 4 hits against Brett Pinkerton for the Crabs. And there's first and second with nobody out.
Nothing you can do there if you're Pinkerton or the left side of the infield. These are 2 singles in a row that are perfectly placed in the 5.5 hole.
So the batter now will be Andrew Crane, donut-eating champion center fielder from Chico State. He's 1 for 3, singled and scored last inning. As now a meeting at the mound. There is a righty warming up in the pen for San Luis Obispo. Looks like it's number 4, Boston Warkentin, the righty from Washington. So Warkentin's in the pen, a meeting at the mound with Pinkerton. 2 of the longest names on the Blues team. You might see Pinkerton give way to Warkentin if there's another base runner for the Crabs. So Brian Traynor, son of Dean Traynor, heads back to the Blues dugout. Pinkerton's going to stay out there. The batter is Andrew Crane. 1 for 3, 2 runners on with nobody out here in the top of the 7th inning.
The last thing the Blues need is the Crabs to add on here, as they got a runner in scoring position with no outs.
There's a bunt down the third baseline, foul. No balls and 1 strike. You don't tend to see sacrifice bunts in 5-run games.
No.
But the Crabs want to pile this one on against the Blues, a chance to advance 2 runners to scoring position. Oh, and 1 the count on the center fielder from Chico State. As Pinkerton comes set, looks back at second. That's where Myers is. At first is Reese. Pinkerton kicks and deals. Big swing and a topper foul. No balls and 2 strikes.
Be nice for Pinkerton to get a strikeout here.
No balls, 2 strikes on Andrew Crane. 6 foot, 175-pound senior from Chico State. Second on the team at Chico this past year with 4 home runs. Oh, 2. Here it comes. Crane tops it towards third base. Long run for Pinkerton, and he's got no play once he grabs it. He cut off Hicksonbaugh, and now the bases are loaded.
This should be a play for Hicksonbaugh. He's got the better angle on it. He's charging the ball. It's easier for him to make a good throw to first base, but they need to communicate on that one, and it looks like they are right now. But Crane gets on, and the bases are loaded with no one out.
And the batter with the bases loaded after 3 straight singles to open this inning. Braden Frank, the third baseman from Sacramento State, who takes the breaking ball. First one we've seen from Pinkerton in there, strike 1. Myers at third, Reese at second, Crane at first. This game has gotten out of hand from San Luis Obispo in the rubber match of this series. 0-1 on the way. Swing and a little pop-up. This could be trouble. Out goes Acosta, the shortstop. He slides, and it bounces out of his glove. In comes Myers to score. The throw goes to third. Safe there is Luke Reese, station to station on 4 straight singles for the Crabs. It's 8-2. Bases are still loaded.
That's some range by Acosta, but couldn't come up with the squeeze on that play. Looks like he's limping back over to short. He kind of landed on that left knee a little awkwardly. But Acosta knows, if you were to ask him, he knows that's a play he can make. Hit his glove. You know he's kicking himself over that one.
Well, he almost made it, and then the Blues almost got a force out at third. Looked like a bang-bang play that call could have gone either way as Reese tried to slide in. Pinkerton gives way to Warkentin. The Blues still haven't gotten an out. Nobody out in the top of the 7th. Bases still loaded. We'll be right back. Pitcher in for the Blues. Tough situation. Bases loaded, nobody out after the Crabs have started this inning with 4 straight hits, and Boston Warkentin comes in. 3 innings thrown for the Blues so far, an ERA at 3, 5 strikeouts for the right-hander from Canada. First pitch to Miller is off the glove of Galloway, back to the backstop. Here comes another run. It's 9-2 Humboldt on the first pitch out of the hand of Warkentin.
Not the start that Boston wanted there. But now he's got to work himself out of this tough situation. Runners at second and third, no one out.
This game was close until it wasn't. Entering the top half of the 6th, there was a 2-1 game. Since then, the Blues have allowed 7 unanswered runs. Second pitch is way high and inside. 2 balls and no strikes. This is what we've seen a little bit from Warkentin. He's got, you could argue, the best stuff on the team for the Blues, but command has been an issue at different times. 3 walks across his first 3 innings. All those came in one frame. He's been a little bit locked down since then, but if he gets a little rattled, could tend to be a little bit more out of the zone. 2-0 on Miller, and that's chin music again. 3 balls and no strikes. 15 hits in this game already for the Crabs. And there's still nobody out here in the 7th inning. Warkentin comes set, kicks and deals, and misses high. It's a 4-pitch walk, and the bases are loaded once again.
It's like Coach Max Lober is going to head on out there and talk with his right-hander.
This is the assistant pitching coach, Max Lober. Warkentin walks Miller on 4 pitches. There have been 5 batters that have come up in this inning. All 5 of them have reached. A couple of them have scored, and there's still nobody out for the Blues. This game, I mean, Nate, I remember when it was 2-1.
Feels like it was just yesterday. Oh, but wait, it was the same day.
So Max Lober going over, probably not a scattering report, just giving Warkentin a little bit more confidence, some time to breathe. Oftentimes, if you come in with runners in scoring position, especially bases loaded, nobody out, you get on the mound and you don't breathe, and you don't have much time to think about the situation. And now he's got to settle down. Cubby Cortez is coming up, leadoff hitter with bases loaded, still nobody out. Cortez singled and scored in the 6th, hit by a pitch in the 1st. He's 1 for 3.
That's a hard thing to do, man. No outs, bases loaded, and you're rolling off the bench and the bullpen. It's tough.
Oh, Cortez takes a strike. Back pick from Galloway. It's not in time to first. No balls and 1 strike as Miller's back in safe. Oh, 1. Cortez swings and taps it foul. No balls and 2 strikes on the catcher from Sacramento State. Warkentin comes set. Blues still looking for their first out. He deals, and Cortez takes strike 3 called. That's the first out in the inning as Warkentin's got his first strikeout out of the pen. Cortez down on strikes for the 2nd time.
Quite a turnaround for an at-bat where you go 4 balls in a row, you go 3 strikes in a row, and he'll strike out Cortez for out number 1.
So Warkentin still trying to escape the inning. Here's Wyatt Reginato, who's 3 for 4, 3 singles. Last time he was thrown out trying to stretch his single into a double in the 6th. Warkentin comes set. Blues still just 1 pitch away from getting out of this inning if Warkentin could roll a double play. But Galloway whiffs on the fastball. It's back to the backstop, and it's 10-2. I don't know if Galloway just didn't read it right out of the hand, if he got crossed up, but a normally sure-handed defensive catcher let that one just go straight by his glove. Back to the backstop. And the Blues have allowed double-digit runs. 1-0. Reginato bounces it to second. Blake Wilson has it a little bit high, throws to first. It's 11-2, but that's the 2nd out of the inning.
And at least you get out number 2 out of that. You're just trying to get out of this situation as soon as you can. They still have a runner at 3rd.
Peyton Miller moves to third. In to score was Braden Frank as Reginato grounds out, picks up another run batted in. Here's Colby Lunsford, who homered in his last at-bat off the about halfway up the light pole in left field. Easily the furthest home run that we've seen to left field. 1 ball, no strikes on the second baseman from Consumus River. One out. Swing and a miss. Big hack at that fastball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Lunsford, the home run back in the 6th with his 3rd of the year. That now leads the Crabs. 1-1. And Lunsford takes the breaking ball outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Warkentin sets up, looks to third, and comes home. And Lunsford pops it foul. Straight back, 2 balls and 2 strikes. 5 runs in the 6th. 4 runs already here in the 7th for the Crabs, who are up 11-1. Swing and a miss. What a wicked hack at the slider as Warkentin picks up 2 strikeouts. But the Crabs maybe make this game out of reach for the Blues. It's 11-2 as we head to the bottom of the 7th on the SLO Blues streaming network. Welcome you back for the bottom of the 7th. It's 11-2 Humboldt, and with the play-by-play, here's Nate Mills.
Thanks, Jackie. Leading off this inning is Matt Masiangelo. TJ Adams and Jacob Galloway will follow him. And actually looks like it's a pinch hitter in Justin Trimble out of UC Santa Barbara. Pinch hitting for Masiangelo. It's a left-on-left matchup for the Blues right now. This game is maybe out of reach for San Luis Obispo. It's 11-2 Humboldt. But Trimble's got some exciting pop. Maybe the fans here could be treated to in this at-bat against Ray. First pitch is swung on and hit into right field. It's a base hit for Justin Trimble. Rolls right off the bench and places a single right in front of Wyatt Reginato in right field.
Well, Trimble's got the pop. We've seen it, but he's swinging a hot bat in general. He hit just about everything the other day above 100 miles an hour. Here, a similar exit velo line drive and picks up a hit. Just like that as a pinch hitter. Come off the bat and pick up a hit.
That's a good guy. Get hot as TJ Adams strides in, and he takes ball 1. It's a fastball that's out of the strike zone away, 1-0. Next pitch is a fastball in there for a strike. Try to pick that same spot, outer half of the strike zone. Counts even at 1-1. Quickly, now down 1-2. It's another fastball to TJ Adams. He's got a battle with 2 strikes. Takes that one for a ball. It's 2-2. Adams, a walk on the day, popped out to first base, and also had a single, advanced to second on the throw by the right fielder, Reginato. Looking for his second hit of the day. He swings at that one, fouled back. Still 2-2. Trimble, not necessarily a steal threat, but down 11-2. Don't really expect one here. He's got some long strides, though, standing in at 6'4" at first base. The delivery counts full now at 3-2 as this fastball got away from Ray. Ray working quickly here in the bottom of the 7th inning to Adams. Delivery swung on. It's high over to Miller. He ranges back, but it will be a can of corn for him out and left for out number 1.
Yeah, Adams got a little bit under that. Not enough carry in the wind to knock that one out. What sticks out to me right now on the scoreboard, Nate, the Blues have 10 hits and 2 runs, 15 hits and 11 runs for the Crabs. They've made the most of their opportunities in ways that the Blues have not been able to today.
That's the story of the Blues so far this season, not capitalizing with runners in scoring position. As you see now, Jacob Galloway, the USC Trojan, left-hander striding up to the box. 2 hits on the day. It's 2 singles. He flew out to center. And the recipient of ball 1 in the dirt.
Well, his last hit, one that maybe knocked the starter Nolan Long out of the game, a 93-mile-an-hour line drive straight to the starter's ankles.
Couldn't have felt good.
No.
Delivers. Foul tips it right back to the screen. Counts at 1-1. Galloway at USC, batting .365. 63 at-bats, slugging .524. Jack, you were there to witness all of that, called all of that.
Yeah. Played in 20 of USC's last 23 games and just ran with the starting job.
Fastball misses inside, 2-1.
It really was admirable, too. He had to take over a big spot. I mean, starting catcher changing late in the season you don't normally see, and he really answered the bell.
This is another fastball taken outside for a strike, outer half of the zone. Just clips it on the black, count even at 2s. Two. Swung on right over to Frank, and Frank bobbles it, tries to go to second. Throw goes into right field. Trimble will stay at second, and Galloway is aboard at first base after the bobble by Frank. And the throw over to Lunsford that ends up in right field. Runners at first and second with 1 out.
So Galloway doesn't get credit for his third hit. That's an error on Frank, and he, I think, was thinking about the throw to second before he collected the ball at third. And now 2 runners on for the Blues. You know, they're still down by 9, but base runners, you never know.
And yesterday's hero and Darius Price strolling up to the batter's box. 2 singles and a bomb yesterday. He's hitless this afternoon. And he takes ball 1 in the dirt. The designated hitter out of Cal Poly Pomona. He had 7 home runs in his season last year. Delivers and pops it out into the bullpen foul. Count at 1-1. Past 3 guys quickly getting to 1-1 counts.
Well, if the Blues are going to go down in this game, I think they'd rather go down swinging than looking. Last chance is to collect some hits before league play resumes on Tuesday.
Left-hander delivers. Swung on up the middle. It's a base hit. Trimble advances to second. Trimble to third. Galloway at second. Bases are loaded for San Luis Obispo.
Well, that's the swing we've seen out of Price the last couple days. Just patient, sees the fastball in the outside corner, doesn't try and do too much with it, just kind of flips it over the second base bag. Trimble had to hesitate, which is why he's not able to come around to score. But the Blues are going to station. 2 hits and an error this inning.
That approach, that swing, exactly what he told me in the interview I had with him yesterday. As Augusto Schroeder will get a crack at it. Had a double in his last at-bat. Would like another one here. Swings it, taps it foul for strike 1. Also struck out and grounded to short in his other 2 at-bats. Ray delivers. Taken inside for a fastball. That one had some English to it. Some late life. Looked like a 2-seamer. And Schroeder's 0-2.
A little bit of that ASR, arm side run, and spotted up on the inside corner beautifully.
Love acronyms. It's common in the media industry. Delivers, taken upstairs for a ball.
A broadcaster's best friend. If you can describe something that's 3 words and 3 letters, why not?
One, two. This one's in the dirt outside. Count even now at 2-2. Schroeder, good job laying off that fastball. Enticing pitch, especially when you're trying to get out of that 1-2 count, but keeps it even. Swung on. This is going to nestle into left center field. Justin Trimble is going to score. He's waving around Gallo. Price in at third safely. And it's a double for Augusto Schroeder, his second of the day, and that will bring home 2 runs for San Luis Obispo.
Well, a nice swing from Augusto Schroeder. Came in today just 4 for 22 on the summer. Picks up 2 hits today, both of them doubles, and this one knocks in 2. Nice swing, and we're seeing the lineup come alive here in the 7th inning, down entering the inning by 9. Now it's only a 7-run deficit.
Augusto Schroeder seeing it well. 2 extra base hits on the day as Jacob LaPrairie out of Tulane. The Green Wave stepping up for his 4th time today. Another ball in the dirt in the first pitch of the at-bat for ball 1. Seen those also the past 3 at-bats. The rock skipper is what we would say in the dugout. Fastball, he's 1-1. Big gap out in right center. Delivers, fisted foul. It's 1-1.
I think LaPrairie had a better chance of getting hit with that pitch than he did doing anything with it. That, I think, might have been a protect me swing. That pitch was straight up chin music.
He was falling away out of the box. Just wanted to put his bat on it. He did. The count's still 1-1. Here's the delivery from Ray. Swings in. Fouled into the bullpen of Humboldt. He falls to 1-2. LaPrairie with a base hit and a walk. Struck out looking in his last at-bat. Slider away, taken for a ball. Count now even at 2. And yeah, you're right, Jack. Doing a good job spitting on balls they shouldn't swing at. They're looking, but they're not being too passive about it.
Well, and they're hammering the pitches they are swinging at, especially over the zone.
2-2 is swung on, and this one drops right into Reese's glove. Looked like it had the carry to drop out in center field, but it looks like he caught it off the end, and now there's 2 outs in the inning.
Yeah, you're right. Just caught it right off the end of the bat. I think it was a little bit out in front. Didn't roll it over at all, but it just caught it off what would be normally the cap of a bat. But with the wooden ones, it's more just the end of it. And we're getting a pinch hitter, but that one just ended up right in the glove of Reese.
Yeah, you're right. Blake Wilson's going to be pinch hit for Theo Hardy. Rocking the retro pants. Usually the high waters, it's a trend now where they're cinched up halfway up the shin, but usually they're tighter than this. I'm not sure how I feel about the baggy look here on Hardy.
It looks like he's in every vintage baseball movie ever.
See the guy on TikTok, the Smokey O'Day, the fictional. And this one's fouled back into the seats. He's 0-1.
Looks like he's going to audition to play Babe Ruth in a movie.
Looks like they just got lower somehow. But Hardy rolling in with runners in scoring position. Fastball way up and away. Now 2-1. The gloveless batter out of San Jose State. Rolling off the bench here. He delivers a check swing directly back to the net, foul.
Hardy, the reigning CCL South hitter of the week last week, had a big 5-for-5 day against Orange County. And this is the second time we've seen him used as a pinch hitter these last couple days. Came off the bench in the 9th inning in a close game against Arroyo Seco back on Tuesday.
Ray, another fastball that gets away from him. 2-2.
This is a non-competitive two-strike pitch where he's gotten ahead of some hitters, but no one's going to chase at that.
And not a guy you want to give an opportunity to. And Theo Hardy, one of the hotter hitters on the Blues lineup. As his 2-2 offering in there for strike 3. It's a fastball. Hardy thought it was low, but it looks like it catches the lower half of the strike zone. We'll head into the top of the 8th. Crabs are up 11-4.
Leading things off here in the top of the 8th inning. Crabs up by a score of 11-4, and it's still Boston Warkentin out there. Count 1 ball and no strikes. Game's gotten away from the Blues, who trail it by 7 here in their second rubber match of the year. As Ham lines it foul, 1 ball and 1 strike. Ham, the lone batter that didn't come up in the 7th. Crabs scored 4 runs there, scored 5 in the 6th to really put themselves in front. 15 hits in this game for Humboldt. Ham takes, strike 2 call. Ham's 0 for 4. Does have an RBI he picked up back in the first on a fielder's choice. 1-2. Outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Since that fielder's choice, Ham has popped out and grounded out twice to the right side. Warkentin delivers. And there's a golf line drive into the right center field gap. This is going to roll all the way to the wall. Ham racing around first. Tags the second base bag, and he stops there. It's a leadoff double for the first baseman from Nevada. Well, Warkentin got him to 2 strikes, went with the breaking ball, but hung it over the plate, and Ham punished it. That's the 16th hit for the Crabs. Blues have 12, but only 4 runs to their name. Big reversal of fortune for the Blues since yesterday's contest. Yesterday was the Blues' 3rd shutout of the year. They kept the Crabs completely scoreless through 9 innings, gave up just 4 hits. Here, quadruple that hits number and put 11 runs on the board. 0-0 to Griffin Myers is outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Myers, the designated hitter from Washington State, has reached in all 4 plate appearances, 2 walks, 2 singles. He's also scored a run. That was last inning in the 7th. 1-0. And Myers takes inside. 2 balls, no strikes. Myers and Warkentin, collegiate rivals. Warkentin goes to the University of Washington. Myers, for the past 2 seasons, has been at Washington State. Huskies and Cougars. Football to the Apple Cup. And baseball, still rivals. 2-0. Is grounded towards short. Moving over is Acosta. He throws to third, and they get the lead runner. Nice tag by Hicksonbaugh at the bag, and just like that, Billy Hams retired at the third base bag. So a heads-up play from J.P. Acosta, who decided to flip it over to third, and Hicksonbaugh was there to make the play. Blues got the lead runner, and there's one out. Luke Reese comes up now, runner at first with one out in the inning. The pitch is in there, called strike one. Theo Hardy came into the game. He's at second base. So Acosta stays at short. Hicksonbaugh stays at third. We're seeing Hardy play his third infield position the last couple days, playing second base as the slider's high, 1 ball and 1 strike. Justin Trimble also into the game, a defensive replacement. He's at first. Right now he's holding on Griffin Myers, the DH, who reached on the fielder's choice. 1-1. Reese swings and misses. Back into the glove of Galloway. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Not as many strikeouts today as there were yesterday for Blues pitching. They've had a handful, but it's been mostly hits for Humboldt in this game. 1-2. That's outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. A nice breaking ball, but Reese is able to hold up. Myers at first, 1 out here in the 8th. A game that the Blues once were just behind by 1 run, and the Crabs have really poured things on the last couple innings. 2-2. Reese strikes out swinging. Workington's third K out of the pen. And just like that, 2 outs in the inning. So with 2 away, the batter will now be Andrew Crane, the center fielder from Chico State. Hits in each of the last 2 innings. He was stranded at third in the 7th. He's 2 for 4. 0-0. And Crane swings and misses. Workington's got the fastball by the bats of these Crabs. Count, no ball and 1 strike. Workington working with a runner at first. That's Myers. He kicks and deals. And Crane swings and misses again. 0-2. As Workington's come in and he's shown the overpowering stuff. 1 more strike to get out of the 8th. Throw up the first scoreless inning since the 5th. Oh, 2. Little bit high. Workington thought it might have been strike 3, but Crane gets the call. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Workington's been a strikeout guy so far for the Blues. Could tally another. He kicks and deals. Runner fakes off. And it's a swing and a miss. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Workington. It's a scoreless frame in the 8th as we head to the bottom half of the inning. So 11-4 Humboldt. Top of the order for the Blues in the bottom of the 8th. J.P. Acosta, Jake Hicksonbaugh, Justin Trimble. 2 up for San Luis Obispo, who trail the Humboldt Crabs a score of 11-4. And Acosta, who is 0 for 4, steps up. The new lefty, Drew Woody, deals a fastball in there. Strike 1 called on the outside corner. Acosta struck out looking to start the game. Since then, 2 pop-outs and a ground out. 0-1. And Woody misses outside with that fastball. 1 ball on 1 strike. Drew Woody, the Utah Valley junior, left-hander, standing at 6 foot, 190 pounds. He deals 1-1. And Acosta takes a little bit inside this time. 2 balls and 1 strike. The Blues have 12 hits. The offense hasn't been all that much of an issue, although with runners in scoring position, I'm sure they wish that they could have cracked through for a little bit more. Only 4 runs on the board. Pitching's been the issue. 16 hits, 11 runs for the Crabs. As Acosta pops it up again. Moving back is the second baseman Lunsford. Right behind the bag now, he fights the sun and makes the catch. That's the 3rd time today that Acosta's popped out, and he's retired. He's 0 for 5. Here comes Jake Hicksonbaugh, who was retired for the first time in his last time up. Grounded out to the 3rd baseman, Frank, to end the 6th inning. He's 3 for 4 with 2 singles and a double. Oh, well. Hicksonbaugh checks his swing, takes the breaking ball on the outside corner, called strike 1. Jake Hicksonbaugh will spend next year at Monterey Peninsula College after graduating from Arroyo Grande High School last year. 0-1. Again on the outside corner with the breaking ball. No balls and 2 strikes on the 6 foot, 175-pound infielder. So Drew Woody looking to retire Jake Hicksonbaugh. First time facing him, 2nd time straight for the Crabs. He delivers, and Hicksonbaugh takes. Same spot, but a little bit outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. On deck is Justin Trimble, who pinch hit to lead off the 7th and came up with a hit and a run scored. 1-2. Hicksonbaugh flies it foul. Still 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, it's a game that we talked early. The Blues were not going to use their permanent arms, trying to save some of the shoulders, the elbows of their permanent players with league play resuming this next week after this weekend off. Wednesday and Tuesday versus the Oaks. Friday and Saturday versus the Barons. And another non-league matchup on Sunday versus the Pirates. As Hicksonbaugh flips a little liner into center field, and it falls. 4th hit for Jake Hicksonbaugh as he's aboard here with 1 out in the 8th inning. Well, Jake Hicksonbaugh, that's the 13th hit for the Blues. He's got 4 of them out of the 2 spot. He hasn't played for the Blues in nearly a month. And here he rolls in and has a 4-hit day at Sinsheimer Stadium. Justin Trimble steps up now. Lefty on lefty matchup for Trimble. Singled and scored in the 7th. Blues came back, added 2 runs after falling behind 11-2. How they get to the score right now, 11-4. As Trimble takes way high. 1 ball and no strikes. Trimble homered in game 1 of this series. Got the start at first again yesterday, hadn't had a hit. And now pinch runner comes out for Jake Hicksonbaugh. It's Giovanni Blanchette, the right fielder. Pinch running for Hicksonbaugh. So Hicksonbaugh's day is done after 4 hits. Have a day. 1-0 to Trimble. Pitch on the way. That's a little bit low. 2 balls and no strikes. It's not a 7-run deficit, not a game that's completely over, but the energy seems to have been sapped out of the Blues after that huge inning. 2-0, and that hits him. Trimble hit with the pitch, and there's runners at first and second with 1 away. So Trimble has reached his time since coming off the bench as a pinch hitter, and with 2 runners on, here comes TJ Adams. Blanchette moves to the second base bag after pinch running for Hicksonbaugh, and Adams, who has a hit and a walk today, steps up. Drew Woody from the stretch. He stares in at his catcher Cortez, has the sign he wants. 0-0. And Adams takes strike one.
I've been told that the case of the missing shoe has been solved. Thank you for your cooperation.
0-1. Pitch on the way. And that's in the dirt. Nice block by Cortez. 1 ball and 1 strike. Blues have, there's one knock on the game, at least for them so far this season. The wins they have haven't been comeback wins. They've lost some close ones. They've come close, but they haven't fully completed a comeback. This is a tall task to ask them to come back from this big of a deficit. But you never know. 1-1, here it comes. And Adams, a big swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Adams walked in the first, popped out in the third. Singled, advanced on an error by the right fielder Reginato back in the 5th inning. And when he came up in the 7th, he flew out to left. Drew Woody comes set. A long hold. He finally offers it up. And Adams takes it in the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes as Woody falls over on the mound. Couldn't stick the landing spot, and his catcher Cortez out to make sure he's okay. Just completely ate it after that pitch, and now he's kicking around at the mound here at Sinsheimer. Looks like that 3 games in a row here at Sinsheimer Stadium, there has been a little bit of a hole dug out there on the mound, and I think that Woody kind of landed in that with his plant foot and just slipped. Trying to avoid injury this late in the game and this late in the series. 2-2. Adams laces it straight back foul. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes. One out, 2 runners on. 2-2 the count on TJ Adams. Drew Woody delivers, and Adams goes down swinging. Chase the changeup, and there's 2 outs here in the 8th. So Adams down on strikes for the first time today, and now up steps Jacob Galloway. Galloway has 2 hits today, also reached on an error and scored a run in the 7th. Stole 2 bases in the 4th, so he's had a pretty good day. Picked up an RBI earlier in the day as well. He's 2 for 4. They're going to keep this 8th inning alive. Blues have 2 runners on. It's Blanchette at second, Justin Trimble at first. 0-0 is in there. Strike 1 called right on the inside corner. Fans, again, don't appreciate the calls here. It's been a testy series, to say the least, here at Sinsheimer Stadium, and the fans have not been afraid to boo today. Here comes the 0-1, and that is outside. Certainly out of the zone. 1 ball and 1 strike. Galloway, a rising sophomore at USC, a big music maker in his free time. Also said he chose USC because of the great balance of athletics and academics and to be part of such a legendary baseball program. He came from one at Harvard-Westlake as well, so he knows a thing or two about legendary programs. As that's in there for a strike, 1-2. Was a 7th-ranked catcher in California according to Perfect Game, a top 100 player in the state coming out of Harvard-Westlake High School. Preseason Perfect Game All-American back in 2022. Here's the 1-2. Galloway pokes it up the middle. It's right to the second baseman, Lunsford, who underhand flips to reach the shortstop in time for the out. A force at second ends the 8th. As we head to the 9th inning, it's 11-4 Crabs. There's one person on the field right now that doesn't care that the score is 11-4, and that's the new pitcher for the Blues. It's J.T. Ricken. How about a position player in the ninth? Ricken pitched in high school, but the University of Oregon rising redshirt freshman gets a chance on the mound with the Blues trailing by 7 here in the top of the ninth. He'll face the bottom, then the top of the order for the Crabs. It's 8-9-1. Braden Frank, Peyton Miller, and Cubby Cortez. Ricken kicks and deals, and that's the breaking ball out of the hand. 1 ball and no strikes. Braden Frank, the third baseman from Sacramento State, is 1 for 4, a single and a run scored in the 7th. See what kind of stuff Ricken has. He throws the fastball and misses or hits the inside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike. 86-mile-an-hour fastball out of the hand of the regular third baseman. Got a little bit of life on the fastball. 1-1. Frank takes the breaking ball low. 2 balls and 1 strike. All the Blues want out of J.T. Ricken right now is strikes. This game has gotten out of hand. The fans have stuck around, but who knows how much longer they'll be here with a 7-run deficit. Blues want to get in and out on defense as quickly as possible. 2-1. And Ricken misses inside. 3-1 the count. Ricken didn't play in his freshman season at Oregon. Had to deal with a hamstring tear. And he's primarily hit for the Blues so far this summer. He gets a chance on the hill. Swing the other way. It comes down on Hardy, the third baseman. Long throw, and he got him. Weird play, but Theo Hardy works around the little twinkle toes at third and comes up with a throw across the diamond in time for the out. We just learned that Theo Hardy's got a cannon. So the defense has changed a bit. LaPrairie moved from left to right. Giovanni Blanchette, who came into the game, moved to left field. The right fielder, Augusto Schroeder, came to second. And Theo Hardy, who was at second after pinch hitting, is now at third. As Ricken misses outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Peyton Miller, the batter, the left fielder from the University of the Pacific, has 2 hits and a walk today. He's 2 for 3. 1-0. That's chopped on the ground towards second. Slow roller. In comes Schroeder. He throws across his body. Takes Trimble off the bag, but he makes the tag on Miller for the out. So 2 weak grounders by Ricken. And just like that, 2 outs in the inning.
Now it's Cubby Cortez for the Crabs.
Here's Cubby Cortez, who has a hit today. 2 strikeouts and a hit by pitch for the catcher from Sacramento State. And Ricken is an out away from working a 1-2-3 inning. The Blues haven't had one of those since the 5th. Ricken deals the breaking ball in there, strike 1. 2 runs for the Crabs in the first. Then the Blues shut him out for the next 4 innings before 5 in the 6th and 4 in the 7th. And that's where this game really got out of hand. As it's another breaking ball. Cortez can't decide whether he wants to swing or not. And it's 0-2. The fans still bellow hot sauce despite the Blues trailing by 7. And the position player, J.T. Ricken, looks for his first strikeout. Here comes the 0-2. Popped up into shallow left. Acosta goes back, throws his glove up, and it bounces in for a base hit. So Ricken gives up the 0-2 knock, and Cubby Cortez comes up with his second hit of the day, a runner at first with 2 outs. So no 1-2-3 frame. Here's Wyatt Reginato, the right fielder from Folsom Lake. 3 hits, all singles, and he's also scored a run. Now Ricken has to work from the stretch. Bent over at the waist, he gets his sign. Oh, Reginato tops it over the head of the first baseman Trimble, and it takes a weird hop off the infield into right field. Heading to third is Cortez on the wicked hop. It's first and third with 2 outs. Trimble couldn't get up high enough to field that one, and as it came down in front of Schroeder, it took off the other way and just completely went to the left of the Blues second baseman. Unlucky bounce for the Blues. So with 2 runners on, back-to-back base hits, here's Colby Lunsford, who's got a single and a home run today on top of some great defense at second. And Lunsford takes strike 1 at the top of the zone. No balls and 1 strike. Cortez at third, Reginato at first. 0-1, and it back to the backstop. In comes Cortez. He will score. JT Ricken's got an ERA, and it's 12-4. So the wild pitch back to the backstop, and Colby Lunsford didn't even have to swing. A run comes in for Humboldt, and they lead now by 8. Tough day for the Blues here at Sinsheimer Stadium. Looked for a win in the rubber match, and Humboldt just raced out in front. And that pitch is outside as well. It's out of the glove of Galloway. He comes up throwing to third, and it's not in time. The Crabs are still running with an 8-run lead. And Wyatt Reginato all the way around to third base. Well, sometimes the philosophy would be if you lead by this much, stop running on the base paths in the 9th inning. But the Crabs are taking the extra bases, and now the count 3 balls and 1 strike on Colby Lunsford. (3-1). That's outside. It's a walk by Ricken to Lunsford, and there's, again, runners at the corners with 2 outs. 2 straight ground outs to start the inning, and now the 2 singles and a walk. Ricken's run into a little bit more trouble as the Blues trail it by 8, 2 runners on. And here's Billy Ham. Ham doubled to lead off the 8th inning. Broke an 0-for-4 day. He's now 1-for-5. Oh, that's outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Ham laces a liner into right field, base hit. Into score comes Reginato. Heading around second to third is Lunsford. Station to station for the Crabs, and it is 13-4. So Ricken gives up his 3rd hit, and after the weird hop away from Schroeder, the Crabs have added 2 runs. Reginato scores, Lunsford to third, and now a 9-run lead for Humboldt. Well, the Crabs are getting their money's worth. They've got a really long bus ride back to Humboldt, and they'll take as many runs as they can get. This might be the last game that they play against the Blues in a long time, where the Blues went up to Humboldt last year for the last time. Crabs wanted still to come to Sinsheimer, and they've rolled in here. And they're 3 outs away on defense from a series win, as that's unloaded onto right. Heading back is the right fielder, LaPrairie, and he puts his glove up to make the catch. So that'll do it. JT Ricken gives up 2 runs, gets the Blues back in the dugout. As we head to the 9th, it's 13-4. Well, here we go. 9th inning, 3 more chances for the Blues. They trail by 9 runs. Here's Darius Price, the DH from Cal Poly Pomona, to lead things off. Price takes high. 1 ball and no strikes. Price is 1-for-4. Singled his last time up back in the 7th. Other than that, 2 pop-ups and a line-out. As Drew Woody still out there for the Crabs, nursing that 9-run lead. As Price pops it back foul. 1 ball and 1 strike. The Blues have 5 games next week. This one might be out of hand, but you still have more chances to come to Sinsheimer. Watch the Blues in action. Tuesday and Wednesday versus the Conejo Oaks. Chance to maybe grab some revenge after the Blues were swept in Thousand Oaks last week. Friday, Saturday here versus the Academy Barons. And then Sunday, the Blues' last non-league game against the Ventura County Pirates. 1-1. And Price takes the breaking ball high. 2 balls and 1 strike. A little bit of a weekend reset for the Blues. Playing out of CCL play, but only one more league game to go after this one. This is game 3 of a season-long 9-game homestand. 2-1, and Price takes strike 2 call on the outside corner. So Price going to take a walk. He didn't like that strike call. And the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. On deck is Augusto Schroeder, who's got 2 doubles. Drew Woody, 2-2. He brings it home. Price takes low on the changeup. 3 balls and 2 strikes. A 9-run comeback would be unprecedented territory for the Blues. Here in the 9th inning, 9 runs with 3 outs would be a sight to see here at Sinsheimer Stadium. The fans, though, have stayed. About half the crowd has filed out, but still fans that are out with the beautiful weather. 3-2. Price takes, strike 3 call, and he knew it. Curveball right over the heart of the plate, and that's the first out here in the 9th. So here's Schroeder, doubles in each of his last 2 plate appearances. He's 2 for 4 on the day. He's scored a run. Blues have scored 4 on 13 hits. They've allowed 19 hits to Humboldt, and the Crabs have totaled that to 13 runs. It is by far the most hits that the Blues have allowed in a game this year. Woody's 0-0, and Schroeder takes high. 1 ball and no strikes. The good news for the Blues, this game does not count in league records, so come playoff time, this one won't even be a scratch on the car at all. The Blues' league record not influenced by the games they play in non-league games, as Schroeder tags this one deep to center. Hanging up for Crane, he makes the catch for the second out. But for the Blues, a chance to have a little bit of fun, welcome in Humboldt, who traveled all the way across the state to come play in this series. And the Crabs are an out away from getting a Series W. And maybe, as we were talking about, the last time that they'll play the Blues in a while. Here's Jacob LaPrairie. Last chance for the Blues. He's got a hit and a walk today. He's 1 for 3. 0-0. And Woody misses outside with the breaking ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Woody LaPrairie from Tulane told me he's enjoying his time in San Luis Obispo, and he'll have a chance to have the rest of tonight and a day off tomorrow to explore it a little more. Lafayette, Louisiana native fouls it off. 1 ball and 1 strike. The quote we mentioned earlier, he was pretty blunt with it. There's no mountains in Louisiana. So LaPrairie is enjoying the hilly atmosphere here in San Luis Obispo. 1 ball, 1 strike here in the 9th inning. Pitch, and LaPrairie swings, and I'm not even sure he fouled that one. It went straight back and hit the home plate umpire. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So now the umpire is going to get checked out here at Sinsheimer Stadium. Cortez out to talk with Woody, give the umpire a break. It looked like it caught the umpire. He's showing off his hand to the trainer. Just a straight shot. It missed LaPrairie's bat and Cortez's glove, and we've got a holdup with 2 strikes and 2 outs and a 9-run game. Umpire flexing his hand in and out. You gotta, there's 1 strike to go in this game, where if we needed an umpire change for a home plate umpire, it would take a while, and Cortez apologizes. Not sure what this conversation is. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Blues are down to their last strike in the rubber match of this game, trailing by 9, as now Woody wants another baseball. Read the room. So 1-2 count. LaPrairie steps back in. Umpire seems to be okay. Cortez back down in his squat. Woody comes set. Kicks and deals. LaPrairie pops it up. This should end it. Out to left. Miller, the left fielder, camps under it, and he makes the catch. It's a series win for the Humboldt Crabs, who make the cross-state trip worth it and take 2 of 3 from the Blues. A 13-4 final as the Blues drop their second-to-last non-conference game of the year. Final score 13-4. 19 hits and 3 errors for the Crabs. The Blues add 13 hits. They only score the 4 runs, and they commit 1 error. This game's final. We'll see you on Tuesday as the Crabs salute their fans. Tuesday, Wednesday versus the Oaks. Friday, Saturday versus the Barons. Sunday versus the Pirates. A 5-game week on the SLO Blues streaming network, and we'll see you